Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Giant Mess, the sloppy sports and entertainment talk show that's hosted by a giant mess. That's me, the Real Cinch Neal Lynch. I'm a Giants and Mets fan who loves movies, TV, comedy, and talking about funny life stories. This here episode that we got going on might not be as funny as some others. I think there's a lot to learn with this episode. Is it cringy? Yeah, but life is ugly. Life is cringy, and I'm gonna embrace that. Some people might run away from it. Some people might say, I don't want this out there in cyberspace. I don't want this entering people's craniums. But not me. I'm gonna lay it all out there. And maybe that puts me at a disadvantage. Maybe that makes me weak. Maybe that makes me dumb. But ultimately, it's part of my story. Is my story worth a damn? Probably not. But someone might get a kick out of this shit. And maybe later on down the line, my daughter is all grown up. She finds out about it. And she gets to know her dad a little bit better. I only had 25 years with my dad. There was so much more to that relationship. And so I'm going to share. And I'm going to overshare to the day I die. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going on a little ride. I don't want to waste your time, but I'm trying to give you all that I got. I'm a storyteller. Do I tell good stories? No. But someone out there, maybe not on this planet, but in the Milky Way, you're having a good old time with this one. I gave you some context in the last episode where I talked about meeting my then girlfriend's friends, ex-husband, former sister-in-law, and everything was Gucci. And then apparently that good feeling, those good vibes, they expire after 3 days together, apparently. So, this episode delves into in-depth. I mean, Jesus. Some would say too in-depth about what went wrong. And towards the end, it's mostly me just trying to sort through the ashes, if you will. Conducting a little autopsy, if you will. So, hey, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. I don't fucking know, dude. So thank you for putting up with my bullshit, because no one does. Very few people do, as you can tell from this intro, and as you will tell from this episode. So without further ado, I will not be referring to her as my girlfriend or my lady or any of that nonsense. I will be using a pseudonym for her real name. Don't want to dox her, so we're gonna go with Mangina. We flew down on Sunday, March 24th. It was a 9:20 flight. I got TSA pre-check, which I don't know if I went over that whole ordeal, how I got and went that, but it's like, why didn't I do this a million years prior? Because it's fairly quick to apply and get approved and to get your shit. And it makes the process at the airport a fucking snap, a breeze. Like, I don't have to take off my shoes. I just put my bag in this thing and that's it, So, I mean, you can get through and you get to cut everyone, which I know everyone that's waiting in line loves that. They're like, oh, look at these heroes. Look at these people I respect and admire. We're not jealous. So yeah, TSA pre-check is the balls. But before that, Mangina drove us to her parking lot. Apparently she has a parking lot by the airport that she always uses. And she can park there on the cheap, because I think it's like $15. I want to say it's $20 a day if you don't do it in advance, but I think it's $20 a day to park in the long-term lot. I don't know about the short-term lot. That might be like 30 some odd dollars a day. I don't friggin' know, dude. It's all too goddamn expensive. So she found a lot that I guess is cheaper than that, but it's not like right by the airport. So you have to get on a shuttle, and then the shuttle takes us to the airport, and she pays in all cash because I guess they only accept cash. That's not shady. So, TSA pre-check is the balls. Mangina is like a silver premier bullshit member of whatever United. And so we got access to the United Club lounge, which that became a bit of a debacle because there's this weird fucking entry thing with the turnstiles that you like scan your phone ticket or something, your pass, and then the turnstiles open, but it has the person's name on the thing that should be going through. And I was thinking, oh, she's going to go through first. And said my name came up, and I'm slow as molasses. Turtles be like, yo, pick up the pace. So I didn't go enough time. Turns the fucking those goddamn automatic. It's not turnstile. They're like little doors, shutters, gateway. I don't know. These little doors just slam shut. It happens to me every time I'm trying to go through to get from the path to the train at the Newark International Liberty Airport. So this is Newark Airport. Oh yeah, Newark Airport. Jesus Christ. So it always closes on me. It's just like, watch this motherfucker. Kapow! I'm going to pop him like a zit. So, yep, didn't go through in time. And then this the lady that's working there gave us all kinds of attitude. She then hands us off to this dude who is dressed like an employee, who's sitting at a computer that I think has the information he needs. And I think he was, I honestly, I don't know what the fuck this guy was. I think he was like he was part of a crew that was going to pull off a heist, and they didn't prep him for it. Like he was a last minute fill-in. Like someone else got sick or died or like chickened out, and they were like just pulled in some random like thug number 4, who then came in and they're like, just sit there and look like you're typing at the computer. No one will know the wiser. And so this guy had zero information and asked her a million questions, asked her what her name was, even though he had already seen her name on the computer screen and on the phone and on her driver's license. He said, "Are you Christine?" No, dude. So that was fun. Eventually got into the United Club Lounge. My Mangina managed to not murder everyone in sight, because she does get frustrated and annoyed when things are not going smoothly, which sounds a lot like me, right? But somehow I have more patience. Interesting. On the flight down, she had asked me multiple times to download movies. So on the flight down, we watched Palm Springs, which is a great, I call it a contemporary version of Groundhog Day with Andy Samberg. And I never remember her name. Christine Milioti? I really hope that's it. But she's been in a lot of great shit. Black Mirror, How I Met Your Dad, How I Met Your Mother, whatever. How I Met Your Mom. She was the mom. Spoiler. So really great movie that I liked a lot. And I think Mangina liked it, although she brought some kind of thing that we could put my iPad in, and it was just like impossible to figure out and to get it to work. And then her headphones weren't working, so she like could barely hear what was going on. And I was just like, okay, we're gonna get off to a great start. And maybe those are all signs from our Father art in heaven. Hallowed be his name. Maybe those were signs. Like, hey, dickweed, maybe you shouldn't be going on this trip. Maybe we're trying to tell you that you shouldn't go on this trip because it's going to end in absolute heartbreak. And I apologize for not seeing the signs. So we watched Palm Springs. I liked it. She couldn't really hear it. Then we turned on Tommy Boy, watched part of Tommy Boy, and she could hear that. So that was good. We laughed at that. We get to our hotel. It's the Inn on Fleming. And pictures can be deceiving. I'll tell you that much. Because you look at the pictures online and you're like, oh, it's a pretty good sized pool. They somehow managed to take a photo of this pool that made it look like it was pretty much the length of the backyard area. Like it looked like it was pretty decently sized, and there was plenty of seats on the side. And I was like, okay, it's not huge, but we're not looking for huge. It's just like somewhere where you can relax and float around and drink and blah, blah. This pool was a hot tub that wasn't hot. It was, the size of a hot tub. It was the size of like I guess you would call it a lap pool. Not even a lap pool. Like if you're an athlete and you get hurt and you go to physical therapy, like the modern day physical therapy rehab, they have you in like that, it's like the water treadmill thing where it's like literally, it's the size of a rectangle and they have a treadmill on the bottom, or like jets flowing at you and you have to walk through it, the leg injury or something. I'm learning to walk again. So that's what the size of this pool was, essentially. So I was immediately like, took the wind out of my sails big time. I was deflated. Deflategate Central, dude. I was like, fuck. All this woman had wanted was a pool. That's literally like number one on her list. And we get there and it's not even like, this isn't a pool, dude. It said it could fit 11 people in there. And it's like, yeah, if you want to like get pregnant, Jesus, there's no room for Jesus. I know that much. 11 people in that fucking thing. So I was really disappointed and down about that, despondent, but managed to pick up the spirits a bit, put our shit away in the room, and then managed to get dressed up-ish. I mean, my attire, she was making fun of me almost the entire trip because I brought 5 pairs of footwear. Okay. And I know you're laughing too. I hear you. And yeah, 5 seems excessive, but let me break it down for you. Sandals. Okay. That's 1. Workout sneakers. That's 2. You're not going to wear your workout sneakers when you go out in the town. I don't feel comfortable wearing sandals out to dinner, like when it's a nice dinner place or nice restaurant, or just in general walking up and down Duval. I brought the sandals for the pool and the beach, right? Like morning time, daytime, you're by the water type situation. You're gonna be in the sand. Not when you're walking up and down Duval Street, like trying to get your drink on. So sandals, check. Workout sneakers, check, because we worked out 2 or 3 of the days that we were down there. And which also I think contributed to her decision, ultimate decision. 3 would be the water shoes, because we're going to go paddle boarding. If we weren't going paddle boarding, I probably wouldn't bring them shits. But I brought the water shoes just in case. 4 were my Hey Dude shoes. If you're not familiar with Dude shoes, I'm not a huge fan of how they look. They're not exactly Croc level in terms of looks, bad looks, but they're not exactly what I would have hoped for. But they were a gift, and they're super goddamn comfortable. And I wear them around the house. Sorry, not the house. Apartment. I can't afford a house. So they're really comfortable. And I'm thinking these will be my shoes for the airport. I don't have to untie my shoes, take them off, even though I didn't have to take off my shoes. Yeah, I fucking know. But just in case they want me to take off my shoes, it's not a whole big thing where I have to tie my shoes again. I just want to, I'm trying to be as comfortable as possible when I'm in the airport. No belt, no anything. So the Hey Dude shoes, and then a pair of nice, I guess you'd call them, they're Sperry's. So maybe, I don't know if they're not exactly boat shoes, but they're like, those kind of casual upper, like, I don't know, like shoes that are nice for beach town, warm weather, tropical, that kind of thing. So I was like, all right, I'm covered. I've got every single pair of footwear that I would ever need. I was able to fit it in my carry-on, was able to, take my backpack and the carry-on. And so I was able to get all that in there. Fantastic. So she would not let me off the hook. We're bringing 5 pairs of shoes. She brought 2, her workout sneakers and her Birkenstocks. Again, I'm not a foot fetishist, but she's great feet. Me, not so much. Little piggy feet. And man, were they ever? And this is what happens when I get to drinking for long periods of time, for multiple days in a row, and I'm eating all kinds of fried foods, not so great foods, hardly any vegetables. The legs swell so much. So they became little sausage feet with the sausage toes. And I'm sure that didn't really help things. It didn't really help my case in terms of in her head, probably. So we got lost walking to Duval, which is nearly impossible because if you look at the map, the inn is on Fleming, and all you have to do is take a left on Fleming and walk to Duval. There's no, we have to make a left here, we have to make it right here, we have to take the jug handle, then we take this exit. No, it's make a left out of the hotel, walk to Duval. Somehow, and I'm going to give a big fuck you to Google Maps because they turned me left, right, and upside down. It took me down Grinnell to we had to walk through a cemetery. Like, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing to me? So that didn't help things. That I didn't know where things were. And even though I've been there before, it was 5 years ago and I didn't really take note. I just knew We need to hang out in Duval. That's the one tree I know. That's the one tree we need to get to. She had been there before as well, but yet she wasn't exactly sure the lay of the land either. So she was kind of getting upset with the situation, but I think she was more upset with me. Whatever. So we ended up going to Old Town Tavern, because I had a list of bars and restaurants because she said she wanted to go on a bar crawl. So I made a list. She made a list. I made a list of bars and restaurants, top bars and restaurants that we should go to. So I had to pull out the list and I said, why don't we go to Old Town Tavern? It's near here. It's got high ratings. I mean, there's just a ton of places, ton of awesome places, bars and restaurants that have great, thousands of 4.4, 4.5 or higher ratings, like really quality stuff. So we stop in an Old Town Tavern, and it's a Sunday at like 3 or 4 o'clock, right? Maybe 2. So it's not exactly packed. It's kind of like, it's not full capacity, but it's getting more popular as the afternoon wears on. We end up ordering with this bartender. We sat at the bar, which was a recurring theme, which I'm kind of understanding why we always sit at the bar. Now that I know what I know and I think what I think, looking back, I think I get it now, why we're sitting at the bar, which I'll get to. Maybe not. So this bartender was awesome. I don't think she ever takes an off day. The one off day she took, she went to Boston for a funeral and didn't know how to pack, even though she's from Boston. But it's a big girl from Boston, loud, boisterous, funny, good at her job, knows everyone. So couldn't have asked for a better bartender to kind of kick things off in Key West. We ordered 3 appetizers, shared plates, another recurring theme. Love to sit at the bar. We love to have shared tapas plates, whatever you would call it, shareables. Just small appetizers. You get a nice little variety, and you get to share them. You get to say, ooh, that's good. Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, the sauce. Ooh, 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 ooh. Compare notes, compare and contrast. I like it. I dig it. So we ordered the cauliflower bites that had sweet chili sauce and house ranch. Mangina was obsessed with the sweet chili sauce. I had a little bit of a thing for the house ranch. We ordered the tuna poke. That's how you pronounce it as a Caucasian. And then I believe it's actually pronounced tuna poke. Sesame, green onion, habanero, tropical fruit with yucca chips, which I have never, ever liked. More like yucca. I think it is yucca chips, but they put the yuck in yucca, dude. It doesn't matter who makes them, who serves them. I just can't. Nope. No, thank you. And then the third one was the caramelized onion and bacon dip with house crostini, which I almost devoured all by myself. Mangina, not so much a big fan. She's not a fan of the creamies, the whites and the creamies, which I can't get enough of that white cream in my mouth. Oh boy. They don't have the drink menu online, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly we ordered in terms of drinks. I have all kinds of receipts here. There's a receipt. Okay. Got a receipt here. Okay. Got a receipt here. Okay. Receipt here. Okay. All right. Here's the receipt. All right. That goes over there. Here's another receipt. That goes over there. We got a receipt right here. Don't need it. And I got this receipt. Yep. This receipt. Yep. Is this the receipt I'm looking for? Are you the receipt I'm looking for? Nope. And then this receipt. Nope. Okay. So no receipt. I actually got made fun of because whenever I sign my receipt, I always take the customer. So they give you, typically merchant copy, customer copy, and then the third paper, which I still to this day have no idea what it's supposed to be. Like who gets it. So I've always taken it because it's like, why not? It's just another piece of documentation so that I can do this, just run down what we got. So and they don't have a drink menu online, which blows my mind, because you would think I don't know if it's a law thing. I don't think it's a law thing, but you would think that you would want to put your drinks online so people can see it and be like, ooh, that sounds good. I want to try it. No, I guess not. But they had a bunch of sours. Mangina's a big fan of the sours, so she got a bunch of those. I had a couple. Those for sours for me are like a 1 or 2 type drink thing. I don't know if I could go to 3, 4 or more. And then I switched up to some blonde ales, the first of which was Bees Squeeze, honey blonde ale. Oh, baby, I can't recommend it enough. I think it's a local beer. I'm going to quickly do a little googs on it. Bees Squeeze. It's from Copper Point Brewing. This light-bodied blonde ale with McCoy's Florida honey and orange peel from Indian River County surpasses wonderful. So, yeah, I believe that is a yes for me, dog. It is a local beer, a Floridian beer. It's got a 3.65 out of 5 on Untapped. Seems a bit low. 5% ABV. Holla at your boy. So I dug it a lot. I loved it. Mangina strikes up a conversation with this old dude sitting next to her. This just old guy, bald, had to be in at least his 60s. Overweight, kind of looked like a basset hound, which I'm sure I'm going to look exactly like that when I'm that age. So I'm not knocking it, because it's going to be me. It's going to be me. But strikes up a conversation with this guy. Found out he's from Indiana, is a driver, like a bus driver that drives. They have like the trolleys or whatnot that go around. There's like a free shuttle, free trolley. I don't know. They have a bunch of those, which is really cool. But I guess he's a driver for that. And he makes fun of me for drinking a Bees Squeeze blonde ale, 5% ABV. Meanwhile, this guy is knocking back Michelob Ultra. You fucking serious, bro? Jesus. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's against the law. You can't do that. You're going to make fun of me because I have a honey blonde ale that's 5% ABV while you are sucking down Michelob Ultra. I had Michelob Ultra in 2004 when I was trying to like really severely limit the carb intake, because I thought like I could actually pull it off and like be a sexy hunk beefcake, and no, did not work. Yes, I lost weight, but I didn't enjoy having to pee 30 times in a night. So fuck you, Ultra. And go fuck yourself to this guy. The bartender, he gets up to go to the bathroom, and the bartender reveals that he's basically a stalker. So that was fun. So like when we were about to leave, we pay the toll to get into that boy's hole. Shout out Always Sunny. He asked for our names. He goes, oh, I didn't get your name. And so, Mangina and I have our fat kid names. So when our inner fat kid wants to eat and pig out, we have names for them. And hers is Shaniqua and mine is Eugene. I'm not a big fan of mine, but I was put on the spot. There was a lot of pressure, and I thought Eugene kind of worked. I don't know if hers is kind of like cultural appropriation. I don't know if we want to go there. So she introduced herself as Shaniqua. And then I introduced myself as Eugene. I caught on, and I was like, I get it. Even though we already told this dude where we're staying, and that definitely stuck in my craw for the next day or two. Like he's just going to show up and ask us, hey, do you know where Shaniqua and Eugene are? So at least we give him the fake names. And then we're on our way to the sunset sail. Sabago Water Sports. They have this is not a catamaran, or is it? I don't fucking know. It's either a catamaran or a sailboat, or maybe it's the same thing. A schooner is a sailboat. Okay. So we had to go down by the dock, not a very long walk, and trying to figure out which boat to go on, because they're like identical boats. And then we're looking at this one boat, and it's like kind of an older crowd. I want to say like senior citizen discounts out the ass on this side. And then on the other side, it's like people in their 20s and 30s and maybe their 40s. And we're like, please be our boat. As it turns out, I think Mangina prefers senior citizens. So it's a good thing we were on the senior citizen boat. I had to go ask. I was like, hey, by any chance, you're not the boat that we're supposed to be on? He's like, no. you are not cool enough to be on this boat. So went to the gift shop for a little bit. She got a gift for her daughter. I thought about getting a gift, a hat, and I kind of regret it. A Contra Public hat. Ooh, so nice. So we're waiting in line for the boat. We're like the second or third people in line. There's a woman or a man that are just fucking itching to get on this boat, like already on the plank going up, even though you're not supposed to be on the plank, and there's like a rope or whatever to be like, hey, don't be on the plank. So they're like trying to already board. There's another older guy wearing an Under Armour hat that I was just like, an Under Armour hat? What are we doing? And we end up, there's a whole cast of characters. I mean, there's a cast of characters all over Key West. You know, I mean, that was part of the appeal of it, and why it is so much fun is that it's just a cast of characters, just quirky, odd, eccentric, interesting people. You know, I mean, I can't tell you how many bars we've been to bars in Jersey and New York. And it's like, there's just no striking up conversation and talking and like, what's your story? And then they have some wild story. You're like, what? But that happened with literally every person we talked to. It was like bartenders, patrons, servers. It was just like everyone had this fucking cool story. So there's this couple that they look like, they just are like porn stars. But not like they're not like off-duty porn stars. Can I say that? Like the one guy is muscular, like very, very tan, weathered. I'll say that. Tattoos all over, piercings all over, tight clothes. With a woman, basically the same thing. Tight clothes, piercing, tattoos, tan as fuck. And it's like, and you can tell, like, we just got on this goddamn boat. And they're already like, hey, do you know where the restroom is? And I'm like, you were behind me. You just saw me got on. They want to know where the restroom is. And I'm like, all right, one of two things is happening there. They definitely don't have to pee, and they definitely don't have to poo, and they definitely don't have to puke. What are they doing in there? Drugs and sex. Check and check. So I was like, that's pretty cool. We're sitting there and we got our drink and we're just casually sipping and just watching. We sat by the bar. Again, recurring theme. Sat by the bar and we watched people come up and get their drinks, and we're just taking notes. Like, oh, look, oh, okay. There was an Asian woman, young Asian woman, who looked like she was dressed for the prom. Like very, but not like it was not a conservative prom dress. I'll throw it out there, like midriff bearing prom dress. Like, whoa, okay. There's a what are you hoping for here? So I don't know if she was just like, oh, I'm 19. I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna max out, show up and show out, or what. But kudos to her. You know, fuck it. Why not get dressed up to the nines? And then her friend, a young African American black woman, was wearing a yellow dress that popped, dude. It was a beautiful dress. So they were kind of hanging out. I don't know if there were a couple or not, because I mean, Key West is super gay, LGBTQIA plus friendly, and we saw there were tons. I mean, the roads are literally paved. It's not yellow and white lines. It's like the rainbow up and down streets, and on the sidewalk, everyone's got a rainbow sticker in their window. Everyone's got a rainbow flag. So it's like, that also is kind of, and this is going to like, take this however you want, dude. I don't give a fuck. Comforting. Like, it's just nice to know. It's like, well, if you're accepting of lesbian, gays, trans, bi, intersex, asex, and the plus, can't forget the pluses, the queers. Like, if there's a drag show in town, like the last time that we went to Key West, my then wife went to a drag show while I watched the baby and dropped the baby. No big deal. So drag shows, and it's just like, you can kind of let your guard down a little bit, and it's just like you can enjoy yourself because you probably know that you're in good hands. Unlike the Irish pub that we went to for the day before St. Patrick's Day, with the guy wearing the Kiss hoodie and the Stinky Marine and the possible sugar daddy arrangement at the other side of the bar. Going back to Key West, so we had the porn couple doing coke and banging in the I don't know how, in that fucking tiny ass restroom. You had the prom couple, same sex, and then we ended up running into this. Well, I didn't run into them. Mangina claims that she hates people. Okay, I hate people. I heard that 4 or 5 times. I heard it at least once a day when we were down there. I hate people. Yet every time I turn around, this broad is gabbing with some complete random stranger. And that complete random stranger is never our age. It's always someone that's like way, way older. Just someone who's just like, is like mom, dad, parent almost status. So she runs into this couple. They are from, I think they're from North Carolina. The dude, the husband. So they're probably in their, they gotta be in their late 50s, early 60s ish. And Mangina's chatting them up. And I kind of try to jump in and participate. The guy's wearing all NC State gear. And at the time, March Madness is going on. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, I didn't pick NC State. Like, I had them losing in the first round to Texas Tech. I have never been so wrong. Not just on NC State, on every single game. Like, I think there is, I don't know who runs it, but there is an award or a prize for the person that gets every single, like, if you get a perfect bracket, which is impossible, and like everything's perfectly correct, I think it's like a 0.001% chance of that happening, even worse. The odds of you getting every pick wrong are also exponentially high or low, whatever. And so there's a prize for that as well. I almost hit that. My final 4 was fucking Arizona, Auburn, Houston, and either Tennessee or Creighton. Just wrong across the board everywhere, dude. I had Auburn winning 3. I filled out 8 fucking brackets. 8. I had Auburn winning 3. Console, all those. I had Arizona winning 2. I had Marquette winning 1. And I had Houston winning 1. And I don't even know what the other fucking school was. Yuck, dude. I've never filled out that many brackets, I don't think, before. I've never been more wrong on all the brackets. Auburn first round, I think, got eliminated. Arizona didn't even make it to the Elite 8, I don't think. Just awful across the board. Simply awful. So, yeah, he's an NC State fan. I was like, I'm not going to tell him. And so he was like, yeah, we're going on quite the run. I was like, yeah, you guys are making some waves. Little did I know they would go on to, like, yeah, look at them now. Look at them now. They're stacking paper. So at one point, Mangina goes to the couple and says, what is the secret to your marriage, to a happy, successful marriage? Like, what's your secret for your relationship? And I think the wife says compromise, which is so sexy. And the guy, the husband, says, she gets to let me have one thing. Like, I felt my balls fell off my body and my penis inverted into my soul. She said compromise, and he says she lets me have one thing. And I guess that one thing is NC State. So now I'm thinking, oh, the Mangina's friend who's in her 50s, whose husband didn't come to dinner, that's his one thing. The Pitt Panthers. He gets a get out of jail free card no matter what for the Pitt Panthers. So I guess if I had to pick what's my one thing, it would be the Giants, I guess. But they only play 17 times a year. So maybe I should pick the Mets, but that feels like overkill. Yeah, that was like crazy. So NC State, that's his thing. As I mentioned, this sale took place at sunset, and it was just absolutely goddamn beautiful. And Mangina does not like pictures of herself. We don't have a ton of pictures. Well, it's weird. She doesn't like pictures of herself, but she was the one taking pictures of us. So we took a lot of golden hour photos, and probably the best photos we've ever taken. And oh boy, did we end it on a high note. Ironic that I was like, wow, this is the photo that we're going to look back on and be like, this is the moment we knew we were going to be together for a long time. survey says. So the tattooed, pierced porn star guy, they have hors d'oeuvres, right? So that's part of it. Like you pay, I think it was like $80 a pop. Not bad. You get complimentary booze, beer, wine, liquor, and they hand out hors d'oeuvres, right? And so at the end, they were handing out these little key lime tart thingies that were like very small, almost the size of like a Reese's peanut butter cup-ish. And the guy's about to hand it to us, and the porn star guy slaps the guy's shoulder, spins him around, and goes, "You only gave us one." What are we doing, dude? What are we doing? You only give us one. Who gives a shit? And so they almost fought, like squared up and fought in front of us over a goddamn key lime tart. The whole time I'm sitting there holding it, and I'm like, "You can just have mine. Here, have mine." Because the guy handing him out was like, basically was just like, "Fuck you." He's like, "You only said you had one, or you already took two. You can't have any more," and walked away. And the other guy was about to like chase him down. I was like, "What? You just have mine, dude. It's fine. Here, have mine." And he's like, "No." And so he kind of went and stalked after the guy. I was just like, this is banana land. And that was the sunset sail. Pretty good time. Pretty awesome time. I mean, it's hard not to have a good time on that fucking boat with that view, with the sun setting, booze. I mean, it was just like, you couldn't have asked for a better first night. And we were supposed to have reservations at Santiago's Bodega. But we decided to cancel because we're like, we are in no shape to go to a nice fancy dinner. And I don't think we're going to be able to make it anyway, regardless. So we ended up going to the Contra Public Seafood Company, which is right there on the wharf. And huge warehouse type looking place, kind of open, right? There aren't walls. Is that the right words I'm looking for? So it's open. You get the nice breeze coming in from the outside. You get the nice views. Man, they were packed. And it's a huge place, and they were packed. And so they were like, "Well, can we sit at the bar?" Recurring theme. And so Mangina finds a bar stool. I'm able to scoop up a bar stool or two. And we were able to get some seats at the bar. So this bartender, Mangina had a crush on. So that's the other part of this is like, there's a part of me. We'll get to it. So she's in love with the bartender. She's like, "Look, she's working with such efficiency." Like, she was critiquing the whole thing. It was like running commentary, director's commentary on this bartending DVD. Like she was critiquing every bartender, how they moved, how they did things. And she was like, she's nailing it. She's crushing it. Look at her go. And I was just like, okay. Yeah, sure. Mangina ordered $1 million Concha-Rita, which I think I had a taste of, and it was good. I try to limit the number of margaritas though, because it's just like, I don't know if I want the full blown heartburn. I'll just take the mild heartburn, please. It's their signature top shelf margarita with Milagro tequila, agave, fresh squeezed lime, and Grand Marnier float. I had an espresso martini. Yep, espresso martini. Because it was like 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. The sun's down. I ordered a fucking espresso martini. Because I was thinking like, oh, we're going to go out after. I need a little more energy. I was up at fucking 5 something in the morning to get to her place by 7, to get to the airport by 9, by whatever, to get on a 9:20 a.m. flight. And we were not sleeping on the plane. We decided to watch movies. So I was like, I need a little boost. So I went with the espresso martini and caught a lot of shit for that. Got 3 olives, triple espresso, Stoli vanilla vodka, and Samra's Bad Decision. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And it did not taste good at all. I don't know if it didn't taste good or if it was just like a heavy, heavy dose of vodka. It's just like the heaviest of pours. I'm thinking it's more that and not it doesn't taste good. Because it was just like I was drinking it like I would a martini. I was like taking healthy sips. Maybe not like more than a sip, more than a shot's worth, maybe. And I was like, why do I keep doing that? Every time I did it, it was just like cringe central. The bitter beer face. But we had the conch fritters and the coconut shrimp, which was also a running theme. It was like basically that was every meal almost. It was like every meal that wasn't a dinner, like a nice dinner that we had reservations for. It was like sit at the bar and conch fritters and coconut shrimp. She ended up spilling something all over me. It was like a white cream sauce, which she doesn't like. And it looked like I jizzed my shorts, but I didn't care because I was on cloud nine. We held hands on the way home. A couple that was walking by us made fun of us for holding hands. Long hair, didn't care. Life couldn't get any better that night, that day. I was like, this is about as good of a kickoff to this fucking trip as you can possibly have. Little did I know that would be the peak, ladies and gentlemen. Monday morning, we go for a morning run. And it was a 20-minute run. 20 minutes is not a long time to run, but I'm not a runner. And she fucking smoked me. We got kind of lost, again, because we don't really know direction and whatnot. And we're trying to do the Peloton where like the outdoor running thing that they have, where I don't even know if they have video. It's maybe just like audio of the coach or the instructor it's like, all right, now pick it up. We're going to pick it up now to a healthy jog. You should be breathless. You shouldn't be able to have a conversation. No, we're going to sprint. Go. And it's like, so we tried to sync up that. Didn't really sync up. And she just blew me away, left me in the dust. So did that did that ultimately factor into her opinion of me? Probably. Like, hey, I'm dating this guy. My boyfriend can't run. Blah. And so we were so late in our run that we had to not cancel, but postpone and reschedule the paddleboarding, which is probably a good thing because it was windy as fuck on Monday. So, like I said, paddleboarding with the wind going is like the seventh ring of hell. For brunch, we went to Pepe's Cafe. It's the second oldest restaurant in Florida. Bold claim. Not sure if it's true. They had 3 kinds of blomos. They have your traditional Bloody Mary. They had I gotta look it up. Here we are. Yep, that's what I want. Thank you. Okay, here we go. All right, so I had the Pepe's steak and eggs. I asked the waitress, our server, and I said, hey, what are you known for? What do you highly recommend? Here's what I was thinking. And she went with the Pepe's steak, 6-ounce filet tips, onions, mushrooms, peppers, American cheese. Hell yeah. And then Mangina ordered a mild green chili and Monterey Jack cheese omelet and instead got a cream cheese and scallions omelet. So that really poked a hole in her balloon. And then they had these drinks. I'm trying to find them. Hopefully they're on here. If they're not, fuck. We also ordered a potato patty, which the server forgot, and a cinnamon bread, which they're well known for, which I liked. So we carved up fucking hard. And why would they have their drinks? Why would they have drinks? It's a Bloody Maria. I'm like 99% sure it's a Bloody Maria instead of a Bloody Mary. It was like a Bloody Maria, Bloody Mary, and then a third one, Bloody something. But I got the Bloody Maria, which is tequila, and that really hit the spot. And then I think I had a local beer, which was pretty good. But like you're sitting there and it's almost like you're in a chicken coop, and sure enough, there are just chickens walking around everywhere. It's like a big thing in Key West. It's like they walk around the restaurants. Our bartender at Old Town Tavern was saying that like she fucking hates them because they get behind the bar and then they fly and they knock over all the bottles behind her. And then the customers feed them. And so they shit everywhere. And I was like, oh boy. And of course, what happens? Mangina ends up feeding the chickens at Pepe's. But it's like, they're so cute. So we saw a couple cocks, colorful cocks, roosters, and then some chickens galore everywhere, which I liked. And I can understand how that would really piss you off if you were living there, like working there, like, fucking they're everywhere. So that was a good spot. We came back, got changed up, and asked the I don't even know what you call it, manager at the inn, like, hey, in terms of pools and beaches, what do you got? And he said, well, my recommendation for a beach is Zachary Taylor State Memorial Park. And I was like, okay. Because in my research, there were 3 beaches I was looking at: Higgs, Rest, and Smathers. Higgs being the closest, Rest next closest, and Smathers too far. But and then for pools, he said, all my friends, people I know, they go to Dante's. And I was just like, I'm looking at this guy, I wear purple. He was wearing purple. And you get the vibe that like, okay, this guy. Okay, I see you. I know what's happening here. So I was like, Dante's, huh? Okay, we're going to Dante's. And in my head, I'm just picturing like it's like that commercial from SNL with Adam Sandler and Chris Farley, like Schmidt's Gay, where it's like I'm gonna get there. It's just gonna be like all these like gay dudes, super hot gay dudes, shredded, muscular, oiled, tan, wearing like banana hammocks with like fireballs going off everywhere, flamey fireballs, and just like, Cher, Madonna, all the gay icons on the loudspeaker. But no, it was not like that. It's a pool, but it's also part of a bar and restaurant. So we ended up, there weren't any tables. It wasn't packed, but there weren't any tables that we could sit at. So we decided to sit on the edge of the pool. And eventually a table opened up. I brought sunscreen. First of all, I don't understand how I have to, and this is why, I'm not used to the carry-on game. I usually just check my bag. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to put everything in the check bag and I don't have to worry about anything getting confiscated or whatnot. And so I, 1 quart clear, 1 quart bag. I was able to fit, I think 6 or 7 bottles in there, 3.4 ounce bottles. And so there were some things that couldn't make it, because I was like, this spray is going to last me a day. A 3.4 ounce bottle of, banana boat spray is going to last a day. And sure enough, it lasted a day and it didn't even get the fucking job done because I sprayed myself head to toe, left and right, doubled down 2 layers of paint on my bod. And I burned the ever living shit out of my tops of my thighs and my feet. My feet are still, they look diseased. There's like a little bit of leprosy going on with my feet. So yeah, and I'm itchy like crazy right now. But in the moment, you're like, I'm getting such good sun because you don't feel like you're burning. There are some times where you're like, I'm burning. I'm currently burning. I need to get out of the sun. This was, and maybe it's the alcohol, but it was like, I'm not burning. I'm getting a good solid roast. Okay. There's a good bake going on, but I'm not burning. The detector is not going off. So, I sit there all day and I didn't reapply. And I had my feet dangling in the water, and it's like I should have known better. And I burned the fuck out of myself. Not just those places, but also my shoulders too. So it was like, that kind of put that I don't think that helped in her head, her opinion of me. So we're sitting at the edge of the table, edge of the pool, and there's like the mother, father, 2 kids to our right. There's like a kind of a heavy set couple that's like, yeah, you guys look like you were custom made for each other. And then there's this guy and his wife, and the guy is kind of a stocky dude, but big guy, big frame. His wife is also on the bigger side, but he's doing the goofy white man dance. And of course, Mangina loves that. So she was eating it up and she was handing out scores. I give it a 6.7, I give it a 7.8. So that was fun to participate in that. And so luckily the table opens up and there's a bar like right behind that. So it's like you just, anytime you need a drink, you can go, instead of waiting for the server to come around and wait on your table, you can just walk up to the bar. So that's what we were doing, getting those drinks. I don't even know if I have the receipt here. Where are you at? Oh, okay, here we are. Yeah. So I got a horny devil. Yeah. Hit the nail on the head. I got a horny devil. What is in a horny devil? Great question. I think it's hornitos. No, that's not it. Come on, guy. Nope. No, this isn't it. No. Ah. Ooh, is that it? Ghost tequila, habanero, lime syrup, blood orange syrup, strawberry simple. No, I don't think that's it. All right. No, this is going to drive me nuts, but it was the horny double. Dante's pool bar, QS. Boom, shakalaka. All right, here we go. 0.3 out of 5 on Google. Almost 2,200 reviews. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, they're not going to tell me? Oh, really? I don't understand this. Just tell me the drinks. You know? Oh, here it is. No, that's not it. Oh, son of a bee. All right. Oh, okay. No. Oh, is this it? Is this it? No, it's not it. All right. Well, horny devil. It was spicy. So spicy. But I mean, you know, par for the course, dude. It's like, it tracks. No, that's not it either. All right. Well, fuck you. Yeah, I had the horny devil. She had the key lime margarita, couple key lime margaritas. And then I had was that a sub? No. And then I think we got Miller Lights, or maybe, I got a Paloma. That was fucking good. And then a couple of Miller Lights to round it out. But as I'm going to pay and I'm like closing out the tab, Mangina finds herself at the table with the goofy dancing dude and his wife. And they have a story. Of course, why not? She's wearing a Johns Hopkins hat. So I kind of like, you know, made that connection. Like, hey, that's where I went. She's like, oh, my daughter's going there. She's not sure if she wants to be a doctor. And I was like, right there with you. I had the same journey. Please don't let her major in film and media studies, whatever you do. Just, yeah. And turns out she was secretly a doctor because she apparently is a doctor and didn't want to like tell anyone that she's a doctor because she didn't want to steal the thunder or the spotlight from her husband, because the husband was about as alpha as a motherfucking can get. As alpha as fuck. Like they had lived in 5 different places: Abu Dhabi, India, Vancouver, Jacksonville, and I want to say Ohio. Very interesting mix of places to live, especially Abu Dhabi. And so this guy, he was just, I mean, it was like story after story of him meeting with powerful people, how like he's trying to get his boss to sponsor the Canucks. I don't know if he was in politics or business, but it was like, it seems like he's in circles, very interesting circles of people that are very popular and powerful. And he was trying to get his boss to sponsor the Canucks because I guess the Canucks are doing well this year, and I guess they're going to go to the playoffs and go far, whatever. But he was also, you know, talking about how he drives a Hummer, and the Hummer's really big, and he looks down on the people, and it's just like, okay, cool. So of course, Mangina gets their number, and is like, yeah, well, what are you guys doing tomorrow? You know, maybe we'll get together. And I'm like, what? Why are we getting? They have kids in college. Our kids are 11 and 5 respectively. What the fuck are we doing here? So they did not contact us, I don't think, because I didn't give them my number. So, but I thought that was a little interesting. So we went back to the hotel, got showered and dressed, and that's when I discovered that I was a candy cane, a nice red and white striped candy cane. You know, and for whatever reason, Mangina can't burn. So that's another mark in her favor. That is a mark against me, you know, and her opinion of me. Probably not great. We get dressed and we go to 915, which you're not going to believe this, is located at 915 Duval Street. Very nice place. We got to sit outside, which was awesome. I think there were some people that arrived after us, 2 couples that sat at a table. One of the guys had to be on cocaine, because out of the corner of my eye, I just see him like turning his head and looking at us like every 5 seconds. And then like, you know, moving his foot, moving his arm, moving his leg. He couldn't stop moving. And I know what you're saying. Maybe is there like a Michael J. Fox thing going on there? No. Nope, not Parkinson's. Definitely not. It's the coke move. It's like the coke shiver, not shivers or shakes, just like the twitches, the coke twitches. Had to be on coke. And of course, he was like dying to talk with us. He did not want to talk to the other people at the table. He would rather talk to us. But I forget who had what. I think Mangina had a Duval Limeade, Bombaro vodka, blueberry jam, lime juice, and club soda. I had a pink and smoky, which this was a recurring theme too, where I would order quote unquote girly drinks. And if you've ever seen Kids in the Hall, there's a skit called Girly Drink Drunk with Dave. Oh, well, I can't remember his last name. He's on news radio. He was the girly drink drunk where it's like every, they come in weird glasses and they have crazy straws and umbrellas and fruits and whatnot. Like that was me. I was a girly drink drunk the whole trip. And I'm not ashamed to say it, dude. It tastes phenomenal. So I got the pink and smoky, Paloma Mezcal, blended family triple sec, hibiscus syrup, pineapple fresh lime. It was fucking amazing. But of course, every time we place our order, just like we did in Chatham, like I have what is stereotypically the girly drink, and she has the more manlier drink. And so they always give me her drink and my drink to her, and we have to switch. It's high comedy. I love that there was a section on the drinks menu that said interesting whites. I was like, oh, you mean like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan and interesting whites. So we ordered some appetizers, zucchini fritters. You cannot not order fritters, either zucchini or conch, for an appetizer down there. And then the lobster mini tacos, which are Old Bay and butter poached Maine lobster, crispy wontons, guac, and key lime creme fresh. Ooh, baby. I had the special. It was a grouper that was on a bed of purple mashed beets that were purple. And it was so goddamn good. Mangina had the seafood fettuccine, which is Key West pink shrimp, clams, local fish, lemon chili oil, baby arugula, and capers, which was also very good. I had a couple bites of that. The dessert drinks, though, were not of this world. Out of control. Every sip. Sometimes you have like the first sip and you're like, oh, that's good. Every sip was like that. After every sip, I was like, oh, that's so good. Every sip. She had the all grown up root beer float with a Diplomatico Venezuelan rum, draft style root beer, flamingo crossing vanilla ice cream. And I had Bubba's salted caramel martini. It has Bubba's burnt sugar whiskey, salted caramel liqueur, and lightly salted rim. God damn. That was so friggin' good. And of course, the table next to us needed to know what you got going on there, because we were fucking coming and orgasming next to them. So like, hey, I'll have I'll have what she's having. Which is always great when it's like when you have other tables interested. And then from there, we went to Irish Kevin's. Irish Kevin's is an Irish pub, fairly large from front to back. They have like, you walk in, I think there's a bar immediately to the right with stools lining that wall. You walk to the left and they have a bunch of tables. And they have like a little stage, small stage that you walk by. And there's another two bars on the left, back, right, with like a long kind of picnic table-esque type thing in between them. So it was pretty full, no seats, so we had to stand, and we ended up kind of finding our way to an open space. But they had NY Pauly was there performing. If you're not familiar with NY Pauly, he's from New York, shocker, and he is kind of like a comedy act, musical comedy act. Like he'll sing, he plays the guitar. He also has like the pedals at the bottom, I guess, to record sections. So like he'll play and record that, and then he'll press the pedal and it will play while he plays something else, kind of that. I forget, there was like a musical actor, comedian who did that and it was like insane. Ugh. I saw them on Letterman because I'm old, and I thought he was great. They had a chugging contest. My Mangina showed me a video of her the last time she went to Key West. She was at Irish Kevin's and she did a chugging contest and won. It took her 8 seconds to chug. And I was like, and you won? Step it up, ladies. So when we first got there, they had the chugging contest going on. There was one guy kind of on the younger side. He chugged. It took him like 5.43 seconds. And then they had this kind of like older dude who just like looked like he had to have been in a frat. He has to own a fishing boat. Like he just, you could tell, just he's got that air about him, that aura. He chugged his in 3 seconds. And I'm trying to think, like, I have a friend who went to Rutgers, who I lived with for a little bit, who, like, I don't know how he did it, but I guess he just like opened the throat. That's all you got to do. And so it's literally, there's no like gulping with this guy. It's like literally, it's just like he just pours it in. He just kind of pours it in. There's no swallowing. It's just like he pours it in, it goes down. It's like, so do you not have like the thing, like how do you swallow? Just things fall down there. You don't have to swallow. Cool. But this guy did it in 3 seconds. And then that was the winner. That was it. So I didn't even get to do the chugging contest. She didn't even get to do the chugging contest. Kind of disappointed. There were a couple of themes, a couple of fun things that we got into that NY Poly orchestrated. Like anytime someone would enter, he would ask them where they're from. And no matter where they said they're from, we all scream at the same time. No shit. I thought that was funny. There was a Red Sox fan that he pointed out because he's a Yankees fan. And he pointed him out and he goes, hey, name one player that's active on the active roster, 40-man roster for the Red Sox this season. Go. And the guy couldn't. Then eventually yelled out, Noma. Great answer. Like if you're going to have a brain freeze, you might as well go Noma. And so then the NY Poly ends up playing Sweet Caroline. So after that's done, I go to the bathroom, run to the bathroom, and the Red Sox fan guy is there. I go in the stall because he's at the urinal and there's a guy next to him at the urinal next to him. And I overhear the Red Sox fan go, man, that guy, NY Poly, he's not very good, but he's funny. And so the guy next to him at the urinal quips, that's what my wife says about me. And I was like, that'll never not get me. That a boy. Landed it. There was another song where NY Poly asked us to clap. I had a beer in my hand. Me and Jenna had a beer in her hand. So we each used one of our hands. Like I would hold up my hand and she would slap my hand. So we were like clapping together. And then, so NY Poly gets off. Great time with NY Poly. Like I forget his handles, but I assume if you just search NY Poly, he'll pop up. But just a funny dude, interacts with the crowd a lot, makes a lot of like jokes and whatnot. One of them did not go over well in Key West. I think the joke was, and it's sad that I remember this one, not the other ones, but he was like, so we all know Key West is a gay friendly town, and that there are some men that pretend they're women down here, drag shows and whatnot. You know, we used to call them chicks with dicks, and now we just call them men who talk too much, something like that. Like, ooh, like I, you know, it's humor. It's meant to get a laugh. It's meant to be a joke. It's not meant to make fun of anyone. I don't think it's just like clever, but yeah, that did not land. That did not go over well with a lot of people. So he left the stage and ended up making way for a woman, a singer named Carrie Wolf. Yeah, Carrie Wolf. And my Paulie introduces her and he says like, oh, this woman has the best voice in Florida. And I was like, it sounds like he's just, you know, I'm like, God, that's her husband. Oh yeah, I guess I can see that. So she takes the stage, a very beautiful woman. I would say gave me like Miley Cyrus vibes. And her voice is out of control good. Like, and White Paulie was not just fluffing and hyping. He was spot on. He was dead on, like deadly accurate. She had an incredibly strong, awesome voice to the point where Mangina was freaking out and was like, why is no one clapping and going nuts? And I was just sitting there like slack jawed, like jaw on the floor because I was like, what's happening right now? We're in Irish Kevin's. Why is this like, shouldn't this person be on American Idol? Why is this person here? But just like cool, funny, sexy. She was making jokes. Like anytime someone put a tip in her jar, she'd go cha-ching. Like, okay. She said, I love you guys a little too much for my liking. It's like, I don't think you do love me because I'm not lovable. I can't be loved. Right. So that was a perfect end to another perfect day. So now we're looking at 2 days, Sunday, Monday. Now Sunday's kind of a half a day, but trips got off to a pretty fucking cool start. You know, everything's looking up and up. Everything's looking good, despite the fact that I get asthma when I run and I burn so easily. And I order girly drinks. And I bring 5 pairs of shoes. And so despite all that, we're having a great time, right? Tuesday rolls around. We go on a morning run. This time it's 30 minutes. There are sprints at the end. Somehow I do better than I did with the 20-minute run. I'm improving at the geometric rate. Son of a bitch. But yet again, she just blows me out of the water to the point where like I couldn't even. I lost her a couple times. Like I just couldn't keep up at all. We ended up having brunch at Harpoon Harry's. Like that has to have some kind of effect on a woman, right? Has to. That has to have some kind of subconscious subliminal effect on a woman where it's like, I am dusting this guy left and right, not just in running, but in any kind of physical activity, fashion wise, blah, blah, blah. Like it's hard. Like you're not supposed to keep a scoreboard. There's no leaderboard. I get it. But like you're kind of taking mental notes, right? Maybe not. So we ended up having brunch at Harpoon Harry's, which is like right on the same street, probably 2 doors down from Pepe's. She ordered and this was the morning of that we found out about the Francis Scott's Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore, I-695 or something like that. My phone was just blowing up. Like we woke up to my phone, just like text going off left and right. And it's the group text I'm on with my Hopkins buddies. And just saying, like, talking about the bridge collapse. And I was just like, oh, shit. So we go to Harpoon Harry's, and of course, they have it on the TV. I don't know if it was CNN, it was some newscast, and they're talking about it. And then they showed the video, and I was just like, whoa, dude. Whoa. Like, I don't know. I think the first time I saw it, they must have been a sped up version because it was just like that went down way too fast. That one went down way too fast. And so, we get to speculating and whatnot. And I was like, oh, well, if it was 1:30 in the morning, maybe he was sleepy. He was getting tired. Maybe he was trying to stay awake and he was on like some kind of drug like truck drivers are. And then later you find out, you talk about it with a bunch of people and you find out through all the various conversations that we had sitting at bars that, the power went out, which is just fucking woof. And you just had to feel for that captain. The ship. But so Mangina ordered a country fried steak with sausage gravy, which was off the chain. It was the first time she's ever had country fried steak. And, I don't know if she'll have it again, but it was like, I think I've only had it maybe 3 times maximum. But I was like, why haven't I eaten this more? This is fucking amazing. And I think the last time I had sausage gravy was down in Nashville. Another fun trip where I got engaged. Man. And then I had the seafood omelet, which had crab cake in it. No, shredded crab and lobster, it was decent. It was all right. It was not the country fried steak with sausage gravy. I think that won the show. And then I had a Bloody Harry. What is in the Bloody Harry? I completely forget, but it's not Bloody Mary. It's a Bloody Harry. It's their version of it. Our waitress looked miserable. She was an older lady. And she was just like, yeah, what do you want? Like, we're so used to getting these servers or those waiters who are like upbeat, cheery, energetic, and like, on the younger side. And this woman was like, looked like Mary Todd Lincoln or, who's the woman from The Visit, that M. Night Shyamalan movie? Aunt May from the original Spider-Man movie. Kind of that look and vibe. So, extra spicy and garnished with pepperoncini, olive, jalapeno, and pickle. Oh yeah, this fucking drink had a lot of cool garnishment and accoutrement. I love the garnishes, and it was like, I didn't even eat the olive. I just remember that. Fuck, I ate the pickle, peppercini, jalapeno. It was just it was very, very good. So highly recommend the Bloody Harry, which I believe some random woman came up to us and suggested we try it. Like we were just standing there and this woman was just like, hey, you need to try the Bloody Harry. I'm like, well, are you a ghost? Are you an angel sent from above? Vodka, Worcestershire sauce, salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, lemon wedge. So I don't know if it's that different from a Bloody Mary, but I guess it's their version, right? Why not? So I had the Bloody Harry seafood omelet. She had the country fried steak with sausage gravy. She forgot the toast, and so we're like, I don't want to tell her that she forgot the toast. She's gonna murder us. Like she just looks like she's having an awful day. Doesn't want to be anywhere near us or this restaurant. And she just comes over and she looks disgustingly at our plates, just like ugh. And she goes, "You're missing toast." Went and got the toast. It's like, okay, I don't know. I think I like her now. It's interesting how things can flip on a dime down there. But this Tuesday was our bar crawl day. This was the day that I think I looked forward to the most. I was like, this is the day where it's like, I love bar crawls, even though, history dictates that it probably won't end well. I like the idea of it. And I like the fact that it's like, you're in or you're out. You don't have to hang around at a place for too long. You try to keep pace, and you get to see multiple bars, multiple people, multiple drinks. The idea behind it was, okay, let's make sure that we ask what their signature drink is, the drink that everyone orders. What's their popular drink that they are known for. Like that would be the goal. Like we're gonna do that. And so we started off. We met a rich lady who was walking her two dogs. And I don't know how we got in a conversation with her. I think Manjana probably initiated it, even though she hates people. And this woman was giving I guess Manjana, I asked about recommendations. And so this woman was handing out recommendations left and right. She named like a dozen places. And this place was one of them. It was on my list to begin with, but she kept on calling it Schooner's Wharf Bar. I was like, I think a schooner is a sailboat. Is it not schooner or is it schooner? Are both acceptable? I don't know. This same woman casually drops into conversation. She's like, yeah, we just got this house, but the lady left all her junk behind. It's like, really? $5 million house and you're going to leave your junk behind? And I was just like, did you just say this is $5 million? Like it's fucking $5? Whew. And so, of course, Manjana was like, oh, I wonder if she'll adopt me. So we go to Schooner's Wharf Bar or Schooners. There's live music, and the live music is this like hippie dude, but he's like super aggro. Like he looks like he had the body type, he had the Jimmy Buffett vibe going on, where he's like, he's tan, he's old, he's bald, he's got the John Lennon sunglasses or whatever. And it's like he's, thin-ish, and it's like he probably only, a vegan type guy, and, he paddle boards or whatever. And he's sitting there cross-legged with the guitar, acoustic guitar, and he just keeps saying these like kind of aggressive shit on the stage, like, oh yeah, lively crowd, like sarcastic and passive-aggressive. But I was like, yeah, this is interesting. That doesn't usually happen here with hippies. So that was interesting. And then I sat on the corner of the bar where there was like a friggin' flagpole kissing me. And then to the right of me was this very young woman who I can best describe as a stray cat. Seemed like she might have been homeless, or like she's just an ultimate beach bum. Like, I'm just going to crash on your couch for a week, and I'll crash on your couch for a week, and I'll crash on your, which I'm not knocking it, dude. That sounds like the fucking life. Whatever the case may be, she got free food and a free drink. Like, she tried to pay with $5, like 5 crumpled up singles. And they're like, no, we don't need your money. And it was just like, I need to know the backstory here, but I don't think I want to find out. It's probably going to be sad. So, I ordered a Schooner Breeze. Again, girly drink drunk. It was off the charts. Light, refreshing, crisp. The perfect kickoff to a bar crawl, in my opinion. And I don't know what Mangina ordered. I forget. But I then followed that up with a mudslide, which Mangina is not a fan of, which is sad because if we were supposed to go to Block Island, and Block Island has Champlains, and Champlains has mudslides, and they're the fucking bomb. They're also the bomb at the ore. This mudslide, no bueno. It was like a mudslide on the rocks. I don't even know how to describe it. Like a mudslide slushy. It was not great. Like a flavored, what is it called? Like a flavored ice from Rita's. And they called it a mudslide. It was like they just poured chocolate syrup on a Rita's ice and called it a day. I was like, what the fuck is this? I said, yeah, I'll have the mudslide with the screwball peanut butter whiskey floater, please. And she looked at me and she goes, yeah, we don't do that. And I was like, it's on the menu. And it's not like written on tape and taped to the menu. It's like, it's in print. It's laminated. It's a fish. And so she goes, I didn't know we could do that. And so I was like, okay, that's weird. And of course, Mangina made fun of me. And boy, did it suck. And I don't remember ever tasting any kind of peanut butter in that drink. So Schooner's Wharf Bar somehow had a lot of positive high reviews. I don't know why. Maybe it was trolling. Maybe it was like review bombing or whatever. The opposite of that. Because I'd give it a C-. I mean, again, it was, I guess, midday on a Tuesday. And it was going up on a Tuesday. So I don't know. I don't know if that is fair to them. Like maybe it's like towards the golden hour where it gets like a lot better. But we were not fans. And right when we were trying to like wrap things up, this woman is, I didn't even see this woman walking towards us, but I just see Mangina kind of like take a hit, like someone body checked her, cross body splash, Bret the Hitman Hart versus Mr. Perfect SummerSlam 1991 style. And I was like, whoa. And it turns out it was just an old lady who was just hammered. Front row, Leonard Skinnard. Jesus is the lead singer. He's got these wings. I'm wearing my tuxedo t-shirt. Like it was, holy shit, this woman is tanked. And it could not have been, like we did our run at like 9:30, done by 10, Harpoon Harry's, noon. Yeah, I guess it was like midday-ish, but that's impressive, dude. I'm not talking about like 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, even 3 o'clock, or even 2. This was like between 12 and 1, I think. And she was just just completely bit it right into Mangina. And the husband wasn't faring much better, but managed to peel her off and pull her off. And and as he pulled her off, and she kind of straightened up, and then took a step and just shouldered Mangina again. I was just like, fuck, man. I guess I'll have what she's having. Probably didn't have the mudslide. Next stop was Shots and Giggles. This is a little bit off the beaten path. And it's a little place. Like you walk in and it's like a tiny bar on the left. There's a little alcove on the right that has like a table for 4 or 5, possibly, with like they have a couple of like, was it Coastal Carolina? No, it was Carolina Panthers jerseys framed on the wall. I didn't recognize the names, but we came in and I said, hey, what's your drink? What's your note? Where's your specials? What are your signatures? What can we get here that we cannot get anywhere else? And she pointed to the chalkboard, and it was a mermaid water. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to have a fucking mermaid water. So the girly drink drunk saga continues. Of course, I'm ridiculed for that. But it was like, she's like, do you want the drink or the shot? Because you can get the drink or the shot. I think the drink is $8 and the shot is $7. They were very close in price. And I was like, I'll have both. And that got a nice reaction from the bar. So I had that, which was great. I think Mangina ordered a Crazy Lady, which then I ordered a Crazy Lady. Crazy Lady is, I believe, another blonde ale, local blonde ale. Crazy Lady beer. It's from the Waterfront Brewery in Key West. Wow. This blonde ale is brewed with local honey, and it's good as it gets. Nice clean ale with a subtle honey-like sweetness that lingers just long enough. 3.5 out of 5 on Untapped. Untapped, what's your deal? Why don't people like blondes? So I fucking loved it. I had a couple of those. So that's the Bees Squeeze and the Crazy Lady. And then I think we also had an iguana bait was the other one. I gotta look that up because I'm gonna make sure I give you guys the scoop correctly. Beer. Florida Keys Brewing Company from Isla Morada, Florida. Ooh. This is a Kolsch, so this is not a blonde, I don't think. 5.2% ABV. Ooh. Honey and hibiscus Kolsch with clean, crisp, and refreshing notes. And yeah, that was fucking good too. So I had to go use the restroom. They allow dogs in bars, most bars down there. So there was a really great dog on a leash, who just wanted my love and attention, affection, and care, which was rare on that trip. Someone that actually wanted my love, my care, my affection, my support. Wow. I didn't know how to react. I was like, whoa, this is so foreign to me. So I'm waiting for the restroom. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And they only have one restroom and it's unisex. And I'm like, who the hell is in there? Like, I imagine it's either a guy taking a large, like, awful dump, just spraying the toilet, or doing a massive amount of drugs, or both. And I was like, and so I had to been waiting for like 5-10 minutes. It felt forever. The door, so the door is being unlocked. I can hear the rattle of the lock unlocking, and the door opens, and it's the smallest, daintiest woman you ever done seen, like barely drinking age. I feel like had to be early mid-20s, very short and slender. And I was just like, oh, okay, interesting. I walk in, poof, just I got the fucking pillow of PU right in the face. So I was like, damn, that's good. So I ended up petting the good boy, right? I gave it a lot of scratches on the butt and whatnot. And I don't know if it's a he or she. I think it was a she, actually. She wanted more, and I left her waiting for more. And that's what you got to do. You got to leave him hanging. You got to leave him wanting more, leave on the high note. And that's when I think things started to get a little off kilter. Just like the little slightest hint, because it was, we were talking, and I thought we were having a good conversation. And she was talking about her ex-husband, and then she was talking about how her friends think that her and her ex-husband are going to get back together. And I'm like, I don't want to know that. It's just like, I think you're joking, and I think you want me to be like, ha ha ha, you're never gonna get back together. But it's like, it doesn't seem like you're joking. Like, I am your boyfriend. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you forgot. I know your memory sucks, but I am currently your boyfriend. Not for long. Yeah, which was just weird. So weird. We then walked to Duval. We tried going to Captain Tony's. Well, so this is not on Duval, but it's around the corner from Duval. I want to say on Green Street, Greene Street. So we went to Captain Tony's. It was on my list, very highly rated. I guess this is the oldest bar in Florida, and it shows because we walked in. It was dark as fuck, almost no light, like no windows, and it just reeked to high heaven. And it was just like, and we took 3 steps in, and she's like, nope. And I was like, I hear you, but I gotta take a wizard. So went and whizzed, came back out, and so we're walking down Green Street. We come upon this kiosk type thing, this stand with this dude in it, and it's for I think a marijuana dispensary, which I guess I didn't know how to read the situation, but Florida doesn't allow for recreational marijuana possession, but if you have a card, a medical card, you can get it medicinally. But in Key West, there were ads all over the goddamn place saying no card needed. So I don't know. I think Key West is just gets an exemption. It's like not part of Florida, but it is. I guess that makes sense because it's so far away from the tippity tip, the Corona. So yeah, I stopped at this guy and I was like, hey, so should we go to Amigos across the street? We're on a bar crawl. Should we go to Amigos across the street? Should we go to Amigos across the street? Or should we go to Tiki, which is like literally right next to him? And he said, you should go to Tiki. My name is Ryan, and you should ask for Brad. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Thank you. So we go into this Tiki place, and it's similar to Captain Tony's a little bit, but not as dark, much more colorful. I mean, it's a tiki type place. So like, you know, there's a lot of decorations, there's a lot of color. Like it's got a lot more life to it. And so we're like, hey, Ryan sent us in here. He said to ask for Brad. And so the bartender's like, well, I don't know that guy. And it's like, oh, you're Brad. Cool. Got it. He ended up serving me a zombie. So it came in like the like a tiki type glass or mug type thing, and he threw it together, and then he lit it on. I've never had a zombie before. Shocking, I know. And so he ended up lighting it, and then I was just like an idiot. I'm just sitting there staring at it, like drooling on myself, like, oh, look at the fire. And he's like, blow it out. I'm like, oh, okay. So I try to blow it out. It takes me 5 turns, which of course that probably registered in Mangina's head. Like, took him 5 times to blow it out. So blew it out. And then I think another woman from another party of 4 or 5 came over and was like, what is that drink? And so I think he tells her, and he's like, but you have to blow. And she goes, blow? And I go, do you know how to blow? So I dug that a lot. It felt good. We stay there for a while. Like this guy gives us his life story. He's got a husband. He does like, he was a runner until something gave out in his knee or whatever. He's telling us about all the great places to run on the island. Cause you know, we're trying to figure out like where we've been running hasn't been the best, you know? It's like we're running on Duval. Like no, don't do that. Too crowded. That place was really cool. He ended up making me another drink that I don't remember that was also pretty decent. And I don't know if I have it here. I don't think I have it here. Schooner Wharf Bar. Ugh. Vicky. Dante's no. Shots and giggles. Yeah. Remember what our crazy lady? Oh, Jameson. She had a Jameson. Of course she did. We were trying to mix in waters as much as we could. Spinach salad. Oh, crab cake. I forgot we had that. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the steady rotation. Crab cake, conch fritters, coconut shrimp. That was that. Yeah, I think she might have paid for tiki, so I don't have the exact order here. Oh, mimosa. Oh, beer mosa. Strawberry mango screwdriver. Whoa. Okay. So, yeah, that was wild. When we were at Pepe's, like Mangina kept ordering for brunch a beer mosa, which is essentially a beer with orange juice in it. And so I guess there's man mosa, where it's like you have a beer and you put champagne in it. I don't know. But no one in the Key West vicinity had ever heard about a beer mosa. So I think she felt really proud of that. But yeah, we had a couple of drinks there. They were really great. He did an amazing job. He asked if I want to have like a black licorice with absinthe or something like that. Was it absinthe? I don't know. It was some crazy alcohol. And I was like, yes, minus the black licorice. Like, I think that I was very tempted to do it because I was like, I feel like this guy would make black licorice. This is how good this guy is. He'll make black licorice taste good. We started getting a little hungry, maybe a little hangry. And our dinner reservation was at Blackfin Bistro at like 6:30. So we're like, we got to get some food in our system just a little bit, just to, fight off the urge to murder. And so Mangina wanted French fries. She had a hankering for French fries. So I was like, well, we just got to go in somewhere and ask, like, who has the best French fries? Maybe this place has it. We go in, it's Wicked Lick ice cream. It's an ice cream parlor. And we go in there and I'm like, hey, really dumb, really random, really weird question coming your way. Do you serve French fries? He's like, no, we serve ice cream. And I was like, I thought so. But do you know any places that have really good French fries? He's like, yeah, Mary Ellen's and some other place. So we end up going to Mary Ellen's, walk in there, and it's, dive bar-ish. There, it's kind of open, but like there's just really just one island bar kind of in the middle, and very odd, weird seating arrangements. Like basically, normally you just have like bar stools lined up along the bar. This has like bar stool, table, bar stool, bar stool. Like the 3 bar stools around a table that's connected to the bar. I don't know. It was a little weird. When we first got there was this old dude who had the smallest, cutest dog, ended up getting on the table, and ended up, I ended up getting some licks, which was great because I don't get many licks. And so that was cool. I then go to the restroom. For whatever reason, I don't lock the door because I forgot that it's not like there's a door. It wasn't a men's room and a woman's room. It was just one restroom, unisex, and it's not like a door and then there's another door. It was like, this is the door. And I just didn't lock it because I just didn't lock it. I don't know. And so a woman walks into me and goes, oh my God, why didn't you lock the door? And I was just like, So I come back out. She goes in the restroom. We order the French fries. They're fucking awesome. The bartender's wearing a Phillies hat, so I'm a little peeved. I'm like, oh, I hate that I have to give you credit for these fries. I got scolded for trying to do a long distance order. I mean, like, the guy asked me what I wanted, but he was like at the cash register. So I was like, oh, you want a long distance order? And of course I got scolded for that. The woman who walked in on me comes back from the bathroom and sits right next to us. She's with the guy who has the small dog. I was like, hello. Good to see you again. So I don't think we stayed there for very long. It was like we polished out the fries, had maybe like 2 beers, and then walked to Blackfin Bistro. We definitely 1,000% should not have been at this fucking restaurant. And that's on me for not recognizing that we should not go to a place called Bistro after a bar crawl. Yeah, because I mean, we got there and it was like not like any of the other. Well, what is this, Tuesday night? So Monday night was 915, and that was similar, but not. It didn't feel as like hoity-toity or like I don't know. It had a buzz about it, right? This place didn't have a buzz. It was very like calm, quiet. Like the playlist suggested that we were at a very elegant, classy joint, and we are wasty pants. Like what are we doing here? And so I made the bold decision to order a bottle of Comment les Ron. I could have just ordered 2 glasses, but I ordered the bottle. And then we ordered conch cakes, tuna tartare, lobster salad, fries, key lime tart. So food was amazing, no doubt. We had a waiter who was so French, and I was like, "What? That's what makes this whole event worse is the fact that we are so blotto, like dunzo gonzo." And then you have this sober French waiter who's probably like, you stupid Americans. Like he probably is hating life that he has to serve us like drunk, hammered Americans. And I was just like, sorry. The food was amazing, but it was like, you look to your left and there's like, it seemed like a couple that was in high school. I can't believe how young these fucking people were. They looked like they were 15. A family of 5. It just felt like we were the animals and we were set loose in a museum or something. It was just like, what are we doing here? We don't belong. And then like like cool, awesome music started to kick in. I think it was like Nas or Jay-Z, and it was just like, where the fuck are we? So that was, ordering. It was not a wild party environment. It didn't feel like Key West. It felt like we were in like Spain or something. I don't know. But yeah, the bottle of wine was a mistake. And then I decided like, oh, I wasn't thinking. And it's like all I had to do was ask for to-go cups and put the wine in the to-go cups, or just take the bottle and bring it home. Like that's allowed. You can put the bottle. So I wasn't thinking. So I just polished off the rest of the wine. Mangina claims I poured her glass into mine. And I was like, I think you poured your glass into mine, but let's go to the videotape. And that's where things, I think that's where things went officially off the rails. That's where it was the beginning of the end right there and then. I'm pretty sure was Tuesday night, because on our way back home, I don't even know if we went anywhere else after that. I don't know. I can't remember, but I do remember this, like walking on the sidewalk and I almost bumping into a woman, and I juked her. I gave her the 1-2 step, gave her the little Barry Sanders. Ooh, ooh. You going that way? I'm going this way. And Mangina was not a big fan of that. And then there was a oncoming car, which I think the car had a stop sign. I'm like 99% sure the car had a stop sign. And that's why I did what I did. But I walked on the intersection and I gave it the Heisman. Little boop, stiff arm. I don't think the car was that pissed. I think they might have laughed, but Mangina, not a fan. So yeah, Tuesday night, not a great end. Even though I was trying to be silly and funny, ultimately I think I came across as like a childish jackass, which you're not wrong, but I don't think Mangina appreciated that. So Tuesday night did not end well, but at least we got to go paddleboarding the next morning. I don't think I'll ever love paddleboarding. I think if you were like, hey, we have taken your daughter hostage. We're going to start off with cutting off her fingers. And then this little pig and this little pig and this little pig and this little piggy are going bye-bye. And we're just going to like skin her alive unless you paddleboard. And I'd be like, but she won't die, right? Yeah, I just fucking hate paddleboarding, and it wasn't that windy, but we had to take an Uber there. It was not within walking distance. It was like a 10-minute Uber ride. We get in this car, and the woman goes, she's like an older lady, has been on the island for 25 years, from Indiana. I'm like, another Indianian. And appears to be very religious. She was like, you should go to the Butterfly Conservancy. And I'm like, yeah, totally. And she's like, now, just so you know, we're not entering Key West. This is not in Key West. Like, where you're going is not Key West. I'm like, okay. She's like, it's Stock Island. And I'm like, gotcha. She's like, just to let you know, just as a reminder, this is not Key West. We are now. And then we like get to Stock Island. She's like, we are now in Stock Island. You are no longer in Key West. And I'm like, is there like a purge going on? Like, what? Why do you keep saying that? What's up with Stock Island? A lot of crypto going on here. A lot of bulls and bears, like actual bulls and bears. Like what's going on? So that was a bit odd. But in that Uber, she's like, oh, I have my daughter. My daughter spells her name weird, Lian. People think her name is Lian because it looks like Diane. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of on you. Like my name is spelled weird, right? Neal. A lot of people just figure it's Neil, but like you really, why did you do that to your daughter? But apparently her daughter lives in Tampa. And I was like, oh, we're actually going to Tampa in August. Actually, no, we're not. So, we push out, we get through the little chute there, little alley. try to go through this little gateway. It's not happening. We turn out into the main inlet, I guess, area, street of water. And there's just, she told us too before we went out there, like there are really strong currents. The winds are strong, the current's strong, and you're gonna have to fight through it. But the good news is on the way back, you're gonna be with the current. And I'm like, okay. So there was a good 20-minute to 30-minute stretch where I was on my knees on the paddleboard, paddling, and did not move forward. Like I was, and I'm not a strong guy. And again, I think Mangina was taking notes because she was able to get through it. And she was basically waiting, like where there was like a little mangrove situation with all these gnarly looking branches. She was just like holding on to one of them, like waiting for me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He is such a loser. Like, I dusted him running. He now can't paddle. Like, what is going on? But what I figured out was I was too far out where I think the current was the strongest, and I needed to stick towards the land. And when I did that, got closer to the land, it was a lot easier and I could get through it. Went up to her and I was like, I know we have this map. The lay of the land that we're looking at right now, this landscape looks nothing like this map. I have no idea. She was, the lady that was guiding us through the map when we were checking in. She's like, yeah, you just go over here. There's like a nice secluded little peaceful, grove area where you can just hang out and it's very animals and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, we never got to it. Like, I don't know how you cross this channel. I guess you call it a channel. It was fucking huge. Mix in the fact there was this crazy current and boats and jet skis going left and right. Like, this is like a fucking Frogger on the water. Like, there's no way we're making it over there. So we decided to turn around, and we turn around. We're still on our knees, either like up on our knees or like sitting on our feet on our knees. Turn the corner and there's a woman standing on a paddleboard guiding like some tour that's a kayak tour. And she's like, she just yells at me, not at Mangina, you should stand up. You're going to get cramps. And I'm like, all right. Okay, cool. And this is the part where I'm like, I am fucking like, okay. And so I decided like, I'm going to stand up in front of this whole kayak tour and I'm going to eat it hard. And they're going to get a great laugh out of it. And somehow I managed to get from my knees to a standing position without falling, which was insane because I remember the last time I went paddleboarding, it was like I was off the board every 2 seconds. This is like I could not maintain my balance, which is weird because I have such a fucking iron strong core. So I'm standing now and we go back through the gateway. And of course, as we're coming through this very narrow gateway where we had to make a hard right back to the headquarters, another dude on the fucking paddleboard, standing on the paddleboard, is coming and he's guiding another kayak tour. And he's like, be nice to the paddleboarders. Don't knock the paddleboarders over. And of course, these people are in fucking kayaks where they have, I think, way more control than I do. And they are just panicking. And the one woman is shitting her britches because she's like, where are you going? Where are you trying to go? And I'm like, I'm going where the woman went that went by here. Like, I'm trying to go right. And so I ended up having to like use my paddle to fucking push the kayaks away as I'm going by. I fucking hate paddleboarding. So we get an Uber. I was walking up towards the street because the place is kind of tucked away. It's not like right off the road. It's like you have to take a right and then you kind of have to make a right. And it's like, it's not very visible from the road. And so, not remembering that Uber, like there's a pin and the guy's just going to go wherever the pin is. She's like, where are you going? What are you doing? I'm like, well, I want to make sure we walk up to the road because I don't want him to like pull in and like not see us. And she's like, oh. We get in the Uber and we just don't talk the whole ride. And so I kind of reach out my hand to touch her hand. And she immediately recoils and she's like, oh, I'm all hot and sweaty and gross. Like, no, sorry. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm also hot and sweaty and gross. It's fine. And so we go back and end up, I think we showered off rinsed off, maybe. Got dressed up a little bit, and we went to this place, Azur, if you're into Scissorp, across the street that we had been eyeing for a long time. Had a crab cake BLT with avocado. I had a crab cake BLT with avocado and cheese. And the guy who took my order was flabbergasted that I did that. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, it says add cheese directly next to the BLT in a little box. And there's an add avocado down below. But he was like, oh shit, I gotta try that. And I was like, how long have you been working here? We also ordered, it was the best fucking BLT I've ever had in my life. Crab cake BLT with avocado and cheese. It was so goddamn good. Manjana wanted no part of it. She ordered eggplant chips, which I think I've had zucchini chips before. Never eggplant chips. I need to learn how to make those because those are unreal, dude. So good. We demolished that very quickly. And then I had a paloma, which was, you can't go wrong with a fucking paloma, dude. It's the best. My friend from high school named his daughter Paloma. We were kind of on the fence about, like, should we go to the pool? Should we hang out at our pool at the inn, or should we go to the beach? So I was like, why don't we go to the pool and just like relax for a little bit, and then we can go to the beach for a couple hours, and then we'll come back and we can go to our, because we made a new dinner reservation based off what the waiter said. We were leaving and we're like, hey, yeah. He's like, what are you guys doing later on? Where are you going for dinner? And we're like, oh, we have a reservation at the Flaming Buoy. And he made the worst face in the world, like stank face, like, ugh, ugh. So we're like, oh, okay, no on Flaming Buoy, even though it has like 2,000, 4.4, 4.5, 4.7 out of 5 reviews on Yelp. Okay. He's like, no. You want to go. And then he tells us that he works at this place where it's the best pizza and pasta. And I'm like, brother, I don't know if you caught this. We're from New Jersey. We have pizza and pasta coming out of every orifice, my man. Like, we need to not do that. So we didn't say that, but he was like, yeah, come to Onlywood Grill. And I'm like, only if we didn't live in New Jersey. So he had mentioned Santiago's Bodega. And I was like, oh, that was the place we were going to go on Sunday, but we canceled. So we'll make a reservation there. So we ended up doing that, making a reservation there. We go back to the pool at the inn. I get in the pool. Manjana decides to tan, get some color. Luckily, the pool for me is in the shade because I don't think the sun and I were having our disagreements, you know? So I'm kind of just waiting around the pool. And like when I get in the pool sometimes and like there's no music and it's quiet and you just hear the sounds of nature, you know, it's like the wind and the leaves and the birds. Like I was just trying to relax and calm down. Sometimes I put my ears below the water and you can like kind of tune stuff out. It's almost like those floating pods or whatever that you can go into that either will make you flip the fuck out because you have claustrophobia and whatnot, but it's supposed to be calming. That's what it kind of felt like for me, even though I've never been in one of those pods. It was just like, I'm just going to relax and just kind of like gently walk around. And so she was just, me and Jonna was just like, what are you doing? What do you do? And I was just like, oh boy, she has had enough of me. And it was weird because we were talking, I don't know, earlier that day or the day before, and saying like, I think we picked the perfect amount of days for this trip. I think Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like technically it's half days on Sunday and Thursday. So it's like really 4 full days. I think that's the perfect amount. Like we have the 3 full days and we have the 2 half days. Like obviously the second half day is just getting ready to leave. So it's really 3.5 days. I think that's the perfect amount. And then sure enough, that's when it was a day too long, I think. 1 day too long. So I ended up dipping into some complimentary Bud Lights from the fridge that they have there. We ended up going upstairs and doing some stretching, which I don't know, even though she owns me in just about every workout that we do, I like doing it with her. I've never done that with a partner before. I don't think. So did some stretching together, got dressed, got rinsed off, got dressed, went to the Boathouse Bar and Grill for happy hour, where we got coconut shrimp and conch fritters and maybe some crazy ladies or iguana baits, one of the two. They're so good. And Mangina starts talking loudly to this older woman, and I don't even know what they said originally, but she was like talking to this older woman and is just poking her shoulder hard and is like, did we just become best friends? And I'm like, no, you didn't, because you just talked for like 2 seconds. There's no way. So and then we started talking to these two sisters to the left of us. I don't know. I had fun at Boathouse. It was nice, but it just, I don't know. We ended up walking to Santiago's Bodega. It was about 25 minutes, a 25-minute walk from Boathouse, because Boathouse is like very north, like right where the docks are, the wharf is, and then right on the water. And then Santiago's Bodega is like very west and south. So it took us almost a half hour to get there. At this point, Mangina had no faith in my abilities to walk and get us to where we're going without looking at consulting the map. And even with consulting the map, she didn't have faith in me to get us to where we're going, which was cool. And so it took us 25 minutes to walk there. We again sit at the bar. When we had walked in, there was an amazing plate, waiter that we passed by that was carrying this plate that looked amazing. And I was like, ooh, we got to get that, even though I have no idea what it is. I ended up sitting at the bar, shocker, and ordered some cava to kick things off. Followed that up with some cava is like, I'm going to fuck this up. So I got just a quick confirm. Can we get a quick confirm on cava? Cava or kava is a crop of the Pacific Islands. The name kava is from Tongan and Marquesian, meaning bitter. Other names for kava include awa, ava, yagana, sakawa, sika, malok, maluka. Kava drink is often used for sedative, hypnotic, and muscle relaxant effects in much the same way alcohol is used. Oh shit, so it's not even alcohol? Kava is a beverage or extract made from the Piper methysticum plant. Used for relaxation. It's a drug made from the ground roots of a plant. Oh, I thought it was like a champagne. Or maybe it's more like a kombucha? I don't fucking know, dude. It was good. But we followed that up with a sparkling sangria. We got there right when happy hour was ending. And so I panicked because Jana had to go to the bathroom. So this waiter / bartender is smooth, dude. I think he's like Russian or Ukrainian or something like that. One smooth dude, thick accent. His name is Ivan. And he was just like ultimate sales guy, like selling us hard on everything. He's like, we have these specials, the half off, the happy hour is ending like now. You need to order like now if you want to get in on this. The empanadas are unbelievable. And so I was just like, okay. We'll get the short rib and cheese empanada. Which Manjana didn't like, which I was like, it's okay, it's good. And then we ended up, he's like, you're going to want to order 5 tapas. It was a tapas bar. He's like, you're going to want to order 5 tapas, okay? Minimum 5 tapas. That's like the minimum amount that you should get. I'm like, 5 plate? Oh, not counting the empanada? Okay. So we get the beef carpaccio, which was the plate that we saw when we were walking in. They end up delivering the beef carpaccio to us, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Where's the beef? Like, that was the old lady from the Wendy's commercial. Like, where's the beef? Because the beef is the exact same color as the plate, so it looks like I'm just eating shaved cheese. But no, it turns out it's on there, and it is amazing. We also had the tuna ceviche, which is, Yvonne said it's the largest you've ever seen. Hands down, the largest. I'm not kidding. And we're like, okay, all right, sales guy, way to sell us. And it came out, and he was not shitting us. It is the largest fucking tuna ceviche I've ever seen. I don't know that we had. Look here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it was a Brut Rosé. So it wasn't Cava. It was Cune? I don't fucking know, dude. Empanadas, sparkling sangria, beef carpaccio. I had 3 high noons, tequila, for the records. No glass, because I'm badass. Saganaki, the tuna ceviche, and then Mangina decided to go with the short ribs, and she was like, "You're not going to eat this?" And I was like, "I just had the short rib and cheese empanada. I'm fucking full." Like, we had the conch fritters and the coconut shrimp before coming to here and having 7 plates. So, but yeah, the ceviche was great. The Saganaki, yes. So the Saganaki is kind of cool. I mean, it's more of a show than it is like a dish that you would eat, but they bring it out and there's like a cheese or something and he pours oil all over it and lights it on fire. That was cool. I don't really remember the taste of it, but I know the presentation was fucking baller. But sure enough, Mangina struck up conversations with, we were there through the span of 3 couples. We got there was a couple. They left. Another couple came, sat where they were sitting, chatted them up. They left. Another couple came, chatted them up. It was like, we've made it through 3 couples. I'm both proud and also dying to get the fuck out of here. It just doesn't seem like a place that you would stay for that long. It's like there are probably some better places we can go to and get loose with it. So, I guess the one couple, there was a lady who was a pediatric nurse. She was the furthest from me, and she was talking, and I didn't hear a damn word she said. I was just like, and then the guy worked in software, of course, like sales, which is what Mangina did before she got laid off. And so they hit it off. They lived in Maryland. I think it was St. Michael's. And so we were talking to them about the bridge a little bit and their kids and all that great stuff. But it was like, I didn't talk to Mangina. She didn't talk to me. She was just talking to the couples. Like, it was just couples, like just talking to them. And I was like, but I used to go to school in Baltimore. Where in Baltimore were you? Like, it was just couldn't get a word in edgewise. And then anytime the couple left and those 2 seats were empty, it was just like, no talking, no eye contact. So I remember going to the bathroom at one point towards the end of that stay there, end of our sesh, and I was looking at the window in the bathroom. I was like, I don't think I can fit through that. It's just like, I kind of want to try and escape through that window because I am so confused and put off and distraught and just thrown off. I feel like an idiot. I feel like I'm the least interesting person on the world. Like, it was bad. I was really in a spiral in that bathroom towards the end because I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. And I don't know how to get out of it. I was just like, I am like, if you want to talk about like body language, positioning, I don't think it's called feng shui, but like, my bar stool is facing her. My arm and hand is on the back of her bar stool. My foot is on the leg of her bar stool, but she is facing forward. So she's not facing me at the bar. And that was pretty, that was like the common theme for a lot of the trip towards the end. Like, when we're at bars, it was always like, I'm facing her. I'm trying to engage, I think. And she's facing forward and looking to converse with literally anyone else on the planet. Like, I think she tried to talk chicken at one point. She was like, bok, 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 bok. So that's when things started to go downhill in my perception, in my perspective. We ended up going, after that, we went to Jack Flats. I was like, she's like, where are we going? Do you know where we're going? Where are we going? You should know where we're going. Something that was the kind of tone I was picking up. Like, hey, how do you not have this planned? How do you not know where we're going? Why haven't you picked a place that you're so indecisive? And it's just like, I'm on vacation. I don't want to use my brain. So we ended up going to Jack Flats, which was on my list. I think it was on the bar crawl list, but it was also on like other bars we should consider if we don't go there in the bar crawl. And so we go into Jack Flats and it's fucking dead. There's just no one in there. I mean, it's a pretty big place, huge bar lining the wall, all kinds of TVs playing, sports and whatnot. I mean, like one of the TVs had like that weird fucking horse racing on it, where it's like they're in a cart. The guy's like sitting in a, it looks like Ben-Hur almost, but they're like, the guy's like reclined. I'm like, how the fuck is this still a sport? And there's still degenerates out there betting on this shit. And I don't know, it's like unreal. But yeah. And I even asked the bartender, I was like, hey, is it usually this dead? Like, this is like crazy. This is so slow. Are Wednesdays usually this slow? And she was like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like one of those days where this is like the turnover day or switch over day or some shit. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I think we only really got like a drink there. And same thing, like she had her arms crossed, looking right ahead, no talking, no eye contact. So we left Jack Flats and I was like, well, we can go to Whiskey Wednesday. You remember when we were at Old Town on Sunday, she was talking about Whiskey Wednesday. And I know you like whiskey. Let's go to, Old Town and do Whiskey Wednesday. And she's like, oh yeah. So we go to Whiskey Wednesday at Old Town. We don't hold hands. That was the other part of it that kind of tipped me off. It was like, oh, interesting. We're not really holding hands as much as we were Sunday night and Monday night and part of Tuesday. So we go to Old Town for Whiskey Wednesday. I think I had an Angel Envy. And then I made this, and I don't know if this is, maybe the bartenders can chime in here, but like when a customer says dealer's choice, I keep doing this because I don't want to decide anymore. I just want to, like, I figure you're the bartender. You've made a shit ton of drinks. Just make me the drink that you either like to make or that you like yourself. And if I don't like it, so what? I'm not going to be that person that's going to be like, ew, take it away. Like, I think that's the difference too. It's like when I say dealer's choice, I'm going to like whatever you make, guaranteed. It's almost impossible for you to make me something that I won't like or drink. And so I turned to Mangina and I was like, do bartenders not like that when a customer says dealer's choice? And she's like, no bartender likes that because that puts a lot of pressure on the bartender to make you something and you're not even going to like it because you might not want it. Or I was just like, I just want whiskey. And you're a bartender, whiskey. And I think those are the only words we exchanged during our entire 2-3 hours that we were there. She ended up talking to a guy next to her that was this dude who looked like he was what do I say? Not part of Sum 41, but along those lines, 2005, 2006, 2007 in a band type thing. And he was cutting his wings with a fork and a knife. And so she went in on him like, you're cutting your wings with a fork and a knife? And so then they started talking. He's from Baltimore. So we talked about the bridge. And then he said, yeah, I play music. And she's like, what instrument do you play? He goes, bass. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, what are the fucking odds that this woman would talk to a bunch of fucking random strangers and talk to a guy who plays the bass just like her daughter, who sells software just like her? It's just like, does anyone do what I do? Anyone at all? Anyone have anything in common with me at all? Other than the Baltimore thing, which I still can't because I'm on the outskirts. Dude, it's like I lived in Baltimore for 5 years, but I can't because I'm on the outskirts. It feels weird. Like, yeah, I don't know. I always feel weird like yelling across someone. Yeah, so they were talking. And meanwhile, on the other side of me, behind me, like I guess I should be talking to these people. It's an old, I don't want to say old, a woman, a wife and a husband, I think, woman and man. They saddle up to the bar. There's a guy who I found out was Dominican. He said as much, sitting at the very end of the bar around the corner. And so this guy, the woman, the husband and wife come up. I'd say they're in their 50s, mid to late 50s probably. And so they come up and they're like kind of demanding foie gras at Old Town Tavern and Beer Garden. They're demanding foie gras. And the bartender, who is the same bartender that we had on Sunday night, the big, boisterous, funny, awesome girl from Boston, was just like, we don't have foie gras. And they just kept requesting foie gras. She's like, we've never had foie gras. We don't have it now. We never had. We never will. So eventually she's like, we have a pate. And so they're like, yes, the pate. I didn't hear this, but apparently the husband, the dude, was making crazy, outrageous comments and statements to the Dominican dude, like racial comments, statements. And the Dominican dude was holding his own. He stayed calm, but apparently that was going on. I didn't hear it, but the wife. The husband gets up to go to the bathroom or something. And so then that's the opportunity that the wife takes to lean over to the Dominican guy and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. He has early onset dementia. I know because I'm a neurophysiologist and he is a doctor as well. And I was just like, oh, there is a lot going on. There's a lot going on at this bar in this town. There's just so much going on. And so I was like, what the fuck? You're a neurophysiologist and he's a doctor and he has early onset dementia. And like, it's just, oh boy. So I was like, do I have early onset dementia? But yeah, the Dominican dude, he held his own. I just ended up watching the Nuggets on TV. The Denver Nuggets were on TV and I was just like, oh, I guess I'll just watch this basketball they don't give a fuck about. And that was the night. So then we ended up leaving. I forget when, but I think we got home at back to the apartment at our hotel at like 12:30ish. Didn't hold hands, didn't talk. Woof. So that's 2 nights in a row where like we're walking back, not talking and not holding hands. So it's like, not great. And I remember asking her on Wednesday morning after Tuesday night where we didn't hold hands and didn't talk to each other on the way back. I was like, hey, everything okay last night? Were you all right? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I don't know about you though. And I was like, what? And she's like, you were like karate kicking cars. And I was like, what? I karate kicked a car? It's like, I don't think I was that drunk. And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, you mean when I Heisman'd the car that was like at a stop sign? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So I think me acting like a jackass Tuesday night combined with sucking at running, awful fashion choices, too many shoes, sunburns, taking too long to get ready, I think was one. I think it just all added up for her. And I think Wednesday night and Tuesday night and Wednesday night into Wednesday. Tuesday night into Wednesday, it was just like she was over it. She was like, no, this is not the dude for me. So we wake up Thursday morning, kind of early and it's raining. And I was like, oh, do we still want to run? I didn't know it was raining. She's like, no, it's raining. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I think we still have time to like run to brunch and then maybe go shopping for any gifts or whatever. But I was in a mood. So I was like, this doesn't feel right. This feels off. And she's like, she kind of picks up on it because I got an audio message from my daughter and it was so cute and it was so nice. And it was like her cute little voice talking about it loves me. She misses me. And I didn't even crack a smile. And she's like, you're not even going to smile. And I was like, I don't even know if I said anything in return because I was just so like befuddled by what the fuck was going on. And then I go to the bathroom and come back out and she's like, I feel like you need this. And she hugged me and I was like, oh, this feels good. This feels good. Maybe I am just fucking overthinking everything like I always do. And I'm just in my own head, and it'll all be Gucci. And so, we pack up, we bring our bags down to the main lobby there. We're able to leave them and then go get a brunch at the Cuban Coffee Queen, which they have 3 locations. We went to the one by the dock, by the water. But again, hard to find. They don't have like a giant sign with the neon lights. It's like, you kind of have to use your eyes, Neil. So we're holding hands walking to the Cuban Coffee Queen. I'm like, all right, it feels like things are all right. And then I make the mistake of saying, so what'd you think about last night? Did you have fun? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh. And she's like, did you have fun? And I was like, I don't know. It kind of felt like you shut down on me. Like you just weren't like talking to me and engaging with me. And like you had your arms crossed, you're looking forward. You had kind of a worried expression on your face. And you were like talking to everyone else but me. And so like, as we're saying this while holding hands and still trying to look for this fucking place. And so finally we find it, and we're holding hands, and I go, I don't know, I felt kind of gaslit. And then that's when she took her hand away from me. And then that was a precipitous, steep decline after that. I ordered the iced cafe con leche and the breakfast burrito, which had chorizo, and I had no rice. We like barely talked, and the talks were not like energetic or like enthusiastic. It was very kind of not monotone, but that kind of like dead tone. And so we ended up going to the airport, get there around 12. Didn't talk in the Uber. We go through TSA security. We get into the waiting area, which is just swamped, like overly crowded. There's I think there's 8 gates. And we just tried to find a open seat anywhere, and didn't talk. And then our flight was delayed 90 goddamn minutes, which could not have come at a worse time in our relationship. That is like dying. Like, hey, you guys haven't talked at all? You're barely making eye contact? Let's add another 90 minutes. Add it to the board. Add it to the clock. So, yeah, that fucking sucked. Because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, this is not the place to talk it out in a fucking crowded airport where there's a crying baby and there's kids throwing like there was a dad and son playing catch in the fucking like hallway with gloves and a baseball. So it was just like, I don't know if this is the place to talk it out. And it was, yeah. So we like barely talked. And then the flight's delayed 90 minutes, which only made the problem worse. We get on the plane. There's like a little snafu when I'm trying to get into my seat. I even asked her, I was like, do you want the window or the middle seat? And she's like, oh, I'll take the middle seat. And I was like, okay, I'll take the window. And then she kept walking in front of me. I'm like, but that's not like, we're on the right. So I need to be ahead of you. But I didn't say it because I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. You know, at that point, I'm like hungover and just like tired and sad. I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. And so we get on the plane. She goes first. Obviously, I'm like, well, you know, you went into the row, but now I have to get past you to get to the window. And I have this giant oaf man-child behind me that is like breathing down my neck to get past me. And of course, there's no spot to put my carry-on. So I have to like go down a little bit further, like a row or two, to put my carry-on up. And so he like is immediately right up my asshole. And so I turn and bump into him. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm 12A. And he like won't get out of the way. And his dad is like, Rufus, get the fuck back. So I sit in my seat. She sits in her seat. She closes her eyes and she doesn't open them for the rest of the trip. So I downloaded movies. We're supposed to watch Memento and Wayne's World. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just watch a movie because she's apparently asleep or pretending to sleep. So I put on Wayne's World because I was like, she hasn't seen Memento. Maybe if she wakes up, you know, I'll put on Memento. But lo and behold, this pilot was speeding like crazy to catch up and make up the lost time. So I only got to watch Wayne's World, but she did, slept the entire ride. Get off the plane. I said I have to go to the restroom. I go to the restroom, come back out. We go to the place where the shuttle is going to pick us up. She makes the call saying, hey, I'm parked at your parking lot. Can you pick us up in the shuttle? Where do we go? We go here. Okay. Go out there to where the shuttle is. Don't talk. Don't make eye contact. Get on the shuttle. No talking, no eye contact. Get off the shuttle. Load up the car in the back with our bags. She mumbles something. I'm like, what? And she's like, I gotta pay. I gotta go pay. She goes to pay. I'm standing outside the passenger side seat, the door, and I'm like, oh, I think it's open. I get in it, sit down. She comes out like 5 minutes later. And in my head, I'm mentally preparing. I'm like, okay, now we have got to fucking talk. There's no way that we're driving back an hour from the airport. Like, okay, maybe we couldn't talk in front of people at Cuban Coffee Queen. Okay, maybe we couldn't talk in front of people at the airport at the gate. Okay, maybe we can't talk on the airplane or the shuttle. But now it's just the two of us. Now we can fucking talk. So my head, I'm like, all right, we'll talk it out and we'll figure it out and it won't be so bad. She gets in the car and she goes, yeah, we need to have a conversation. And I was like, yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never traveled with someone or been with someone for that long and not talked to them. And she was like, yeah, I think that we should split ways. And I was just like, what's going on? Like, I understand that was painful, like not talking to each other for that long. But it's still, I was like, so that's that. And she just did not, I mean, the gist of the car ride back, the conversation, the car ride back was, I'm saying, I'm just asking questions, like, well, what is it? Do you not like me? She said, I'll never like you as much as you like me. And I'm like, okay. That happens with a lot of couples. Like, it's not that equal. And she's like, my feelings for you will never be as strong for you as they are for me. And I was like, okay, that hurts a little bit more, but it's like, you can still, like, if you think back to when we first met or like when we first started talking to now, have your feelings grown for me? Yeah, I'd say yeah, for sure. Because you constantly were saying, you keep surprising me. I didn't think you'd keep pursuing this. So it's almost like, oh, well, looking back now, it's like, well, okay. She was just saying, I can't believe this guy's still into me after everything I put him through. Why hasn't he like fucking taken off yet or quit? I ain't no quitter. So, yeah, I don't like you as much as you like me. I will never feel as strong about you as you feel about me. And I think the last one was, there were a couple, I just wanted something more casual, which really threw me for a loop. I was like, what? What do you mean casual? Like, I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm just saying, why not we just be together? Like, we're not living together. We see each other like once or twice a month. And so she said, yeah, I just, I think what it is we can be with each other for a day or two, but not more than 3 days, not 3 or more days. And I was just like, okay. But she said she wanted something more casual. And I was like, to me in my head, and I didn't say this at the time, but I was like, casual is like, I'm not asking you. I don't feel like I'm putting pressure on you to do anything more than what we're doing. In my head, I always thought of casual as like, oh, well, like we're seeing other people. Like we're friends with benefits. It's no big deal. We don't have like serious feelings with each other. We're just sleeping with each other or just, I don't know. That I never got that vibe from her. Cause I mean, I remember her saying like, I've never had a one night stand or I don't have one night stands. Like I've always been in a relationship when I sleep with someone. I was just like, oh, okay. And then she's telling me she wants something more casual. And I'm like, well, in my head, and I didn't think about this until I didn't put it into words until I sent an email at 2:00 in the morning. Like 2 days later. Because it was just eating away at me. It just got to me. It was just like, I can't understand how some women or people can do that. Just like a guillotine, like just cut the head off. Like it's just shut it down and then not offer anything else. It's happened a couple times, 2 or 3 times to me. And like, I always feel like that when I ever break up with someone, I always try to give them as much airtime as possible. I try to give them as much reasoning as possible. And I try to walk them through it and just try and soften the blow somewhat. Like, you don't want to soften it too much, but you also it's a person. And you want to make sure that you're respecting them and their feelings and not just saying what she said, which was, you deserve better and this is not fair to you. And I was like, okay. Like that honestly feels like a cop out, and it feels like the it's not you, it's me talk, which I fucking hate. I fucking hate it. But the casual thing I addressed, and I was like, well, in my head, casual doesn't mean that I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend. Casual doesn't mean that we're exclusive. Casual doesn't mean getting gifts for each other on Christmas and Valentine's Day. Casual doesn't mean meeting your daughter. Casual doesn't mean having a plan for you to meet my daughter, which was going to happen in a fucking month. Doesn't mean that I would meet your ex-husband. It doesn't mean that I would meet your former sister-in-law. It doesn't mean I would meet your friends. It doesn't mean that you would introduce me to your fucking mother. None of that would happen if you wanted casual, lady. So I was... and it's like, I am an affectionate dude. I'd often look at her in what I thought was a caring, affectionate, loving way, supportive way, just kind of like happy way. And she would always make a face like, ooh, like it was like repulsion, disgust, and just grossed out and weirded out and creeped out. And at first I took it as like, I tried to play it off as like a joke. And I didn't take it too seriously, but then it kept happening. And I was like, why is this still happening? Because judging based on a lot of the things that she had said to me, texted me, and wrote to me, that doesn't make any sense. Case in point, I'm not going to go through all the text messages. I almost did. But I'll go through just a handful that she sent to me over the time of our relationship. I wish for you. You're adorable. My handsome man. I cannot wait to squeeze you. I want you to meet my ladies. You is mine. I can't wait to get my hands on you. Could you be more amazing? And I also want to snuggle with you. Those are just 9 text messages that I received in about a week's time before we were ever officially a couple. That was in mid-November, early November. We didn't become a couple until early December, mid-December. So it's a month before we even got together. The casual is not exchanging the fucking impossible amount of text messages that we exchanged on a daily basis. She was literally the only person I talked to for months and months and months on end on text. It was good morning. How is your sleep? How is your night? How is your dinner? How is your breakfast? How is your lunch? How is your workout? How was this? How was that? It was like literally just documenting your life via text. And it's because in my head, now that I'm thinking about it, it's because she didn't have a job. If she had a job, I guarantee you, she wouldn't be bored. She wouldn't use me as a distraction. She wouldn't use me as avoidance. She wouldn't use me as entertainment. If she had a job, that would not have happened, leading me to believe that she was actually interested in me when she wasn't. So, those messages are anything but casual. They just are, And the big question was like, what the fuck happened? So in less than 100 hours together, what was so egregious and foul and messed up that you made a decision when I said I was gaslit from that moment to the moment we got in your car, at the parking lot near the airport, that in that 7-ish hours, I guess, you had gone through everything in your head And you were like, nope, this has to end right now. I don't know. And that's why I kept saying throughout the recap, it was like, okay, so is it the fact that I'm physically not that great in shape? Like I don't run well. I can't paddleboard. I get sunburned easily. Is it all these little things that really annoy you and piss you off that you saw repeatedly firsthand as opposed to just one night or one day? My indecisiveness, my lack of assertion, like to me, saying like you deserve better and it's not fair to you, that doesn't help me. And I know there are a lot of people out there saying, wow, she was really nice to you. She really let you off nicely. She was very nice. And I'm like, no, that's not nice. That's not nice because that's not the real reason. That's for sure not the real reason. I'd much rather her come out and say, yeah, you got a small dick. You're overweight. You're balding. You're depressing. You're boring. Like, it just fucking rattle them off, sister. If she came out and said all that stuff and said, yeah, the more I thought about it, and really walked me through it, and I don't know. Instead, it was just like, I think I tried to keep asking questions in the car, and she was like, I'm tired of explaining myself. I'm not going to explain myself. And I was just like, well, if you don't give me an explanation, my mind's going to go run wild because you have not given me an accurate, real, honest explanation. So, before the trip, she's texting me, I'm so excited. I'm so happy with us before our trip. And then I bring that up in the car and she's like, oh, well, I was actually trepidatious. I was like, trepidatious? Get out the fucking dictionary, dude. I can't believe you just threw an SAT word at me that you actually felt anxious and scared about this trip. Yes, I kind of booked it, not on a whim, but I booked it very quickly. I didn't really check in with you. Might have been a mistake, but I also thought you really liked my confidence and assertiveness when I had it before you completely fucked my mind over with your behavior. And so I thought that, and she was like, wow. And I thought she appreciated me taking the initiative and making decisions. Boom, bang, boom. And instead, she's trepidatious. Well, then why the fuck are you talking? Like, our trip in August was not supposed to be to Tampa. And yet she knows a guy that she worked with that has a place in Tampa that's going to let us use it. And she was going to set that up. And it was like, she kept talking about it. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Like, I love Tampa. Why would you be talking about that? Why would you have all these plans and talk to me the way you do over text? And when you write me Christmas card or a Valentine's Day card and the language that you use in those and in the text, why would you say those fucking things if you don't have enough interest in me to continue working through whatever we got going on? So yeah, I mean, like my trust issues could not be lower. I have zero trust in anyone right now. It is unreal, except family, obviously family. But in terms of, I guess, romantically, there's just no trust there at all in anything. I mean, if we were so casual, why did we talk about core values and love languages before we even got together as a couple? Why would we talk about that? Her core values are honesty, trust, passion, humor, respect. I was like, bing, bang, boom, boom, bing, And I even told her, like, hey, listen, I'm always going to be honest. I'm some say entirely too passionate. And I like to think I have a fucking sense of humor. Trust is tough for me, considering how my marriage ended. But I'm working on respect. I think that respect is something that I really need to work on. I really wish I was better at. But I don't think I've ever just disrespected her in any way. I really don't. Not intentionally. So in my head, I was like, check. Your core, those are your values, and I embrace those values and I appreciate those values, and I am literally executing on those values. But yet I don't think you've been honest with me, and I don't trust you. And I don't think you respect me, which is basically what I had said before. Like, do you respect me? Do you value me? Because a lot of your actions and behavior don't point to that. So yeah, I think it was really when I said I felt gaslit. That's all I said was I felt gaslit at the Cuban Coffee Queen. And I keep saying gaslit and gaslighting. And I have a better concept of what it is and what it means now than I have before. But I think I really do get it now. But I think I'm so gaslit that I think I'm gaslighting myself. That's how gaslit I am. I think I'm gaslighting myself. Because here's what I've chat GPT said. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which one person seeks to make another person doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. It is a tactic often used by individuals with abusive or controlling tendencies to gain power and control over their partner. The term gaslighting originates from the play and subsequent movie titled Gaslight, in which a husband manipulates his wife into doubting her sanity by dimming the gas lights in their home and then denying that anything has changed. Oh, that's interesting. Gaslighting typically involves the following behaviors: denial or contradiction. So when I come to her and I say things like, hey, you did this, this, and this, she'll say no, or you're overthinking it. She would minimization, trivialization. She would downplay my feelings and concerns or experiences, say you're overthinking it, or that's, I don't know why you would think that. Or turn it around on me and say, well, you were doing this and you that and you this, you that. Projection, projecting their own flaws, behaviors, or feelings onto their partner, making me feel like the victim is the one at fault or responsible for the problems in the relationship. Being overly sensitive, check. Creating confusion. Gaslighters may deliberately create confusion or chaos in the relationship by giving contradictory information or changing the subject whenever the victim tries to address their concerns or assert themselves. I mean, I just said that. I just told you. I just walked you through that. The fact that you're texting and saying and writing these things, and then we get in person, and it was like we're strangers. Like we've never met before. I have no idea who you are. What are you doing looking at me? Yeah. So, I mean, I read that. And there's more to it, but I read it all and I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly how I fucking felt. So I think I was accurate in saying that. Now, I said I felt gaslit. Does that mean that's not saying I'm accusing you of gaslighting? I guess it is indirectly, but at the same time, it's like, can you let's talk through it? And I think we had talked through it 2 times before, maybe 3 times. And so I think that's why she had enough. She was like, this dude keeps bringing it up, and either, yes, he's on to me and he's right, or like, this guy will never let it drop. This is always going to happen, and I'm sick of explaining myself, which is probably the latter. So the most common reasons why someone might end a relationship. Lack of compatibility. She's bougie, I'm not. I thought our values aligned. Our love language is mostly aligned. Hers is words of affirmation and quality time, and I did nothing but praise her verbally. And every gift or everything I gave to her was quality time. So like going to Chatham together, going to Key West together, planning a trip in August to be together. Like it was always to try and be together and spend quality time together. So if your love language is quality time, is it 100% on me to create the quality in the quality time? Like, are you going to take any responsibility and be accountable for any of the quality in that quality time? I don't know. Loss of connection and intimacy, which, definitely was kind of happening towards the end of that trip. Different goals or priorities. She's on that train of, I want to retire by 50, which is just, Godspeed, go for it. She didn't want to get married, and I respected that. She didn't want to have kids. I respected that. I think if I really wanted to get married and have kids, I'd have bounced. Did she think that I was like there to convince her, like change her mind and be like, no, I'm going to get you to get on board this whole marriage thing again. Let's have a kid together. Like I never was pushing for that. And I don't know why she would think that was my end goal. Yeah, I won't get into that one. A little too detailed. Yeah, no longer feels emotionally connected. What's the likelihood of us getting back together? Well, it's fucking 0 at this point, but I I was curious to see, and it was like there was a study published in the journal Social, Psychological, and Personality Science found that around 50% of couples attempt to reconcile after a breakup, while younger couples being more likely to do so than older couples. So we ain't that young. Another study conducted by Kansas State found that about a third of couples who break up eventually get back together. So I believe we are on the 66%, 0.6667%. Yeah. So it's tough. There's a million questions that I have, and there's a million reasons why I could see why she would no longer be into me. And it's just odd that it would come to a screeching halt. And I guess she was like, well, I don't want this to go any further. And I think that means I don't want to meet your daughter if I feel this way. I don't want you to meet my mother. And like, I don't want, it's like these little things that she just doesn't want to happen because she doesn't have as much confidence or faith in the relationship anymore. It was an uphill battle. I'm not going to lie. I felt like it was an uphill battle. I mean, especially around Thanksgiving, I was just like, I was about to give up pretty much. But I was like, she's going through a lot. She lost her job. She lost her mother-in-law, who she was close to and says was a mom to her. So I was like about to give up, but I was like, just don't quite yet. Cause I think maybe it'll turn the corner. I was always like, well, give it one more shot, give it one more shot, give it one more shot. And then it always turned around. So I was like, earlier on in a lot of my relationships before when I was younger, I was always the first to bail, other than my first relationship, which was probably the reason why I am the way I am. But if I ever ended a relationship, it was always, I guess, premature, quote unquote, or it was always at like the first fight or the first sign of conflict or the first red flag. And to be honest, everyone has fucking red flags, dude. They just vary in size. Some have massive fucking Trump red flags, the Trump flags that are on the back of a pickup truck, like you'd see at a car dealership at a stadium. And some are like teeny tiny that you would put in a cupcake. So it's like everyone's got red flags, man. Everyone. And these red flags were there. And I think most of the time I acknowledged them. And I was like, I think I can handle this red flag. Do I think this red flag could go away? Do I think this red flag could be a yellow flag? Yeah. Like, was I trying to change her? No, I don't think I was trying to change her. I was just trying to help her get back to a place that I thought she was before a lot of things happened. Losing her father, getting a divorce. Like, I think those two events are very traumatic. I mean, I lost my father. I got divorced. I understand those feelings. And so I was thinking when she told me, you're the first guy that I've gone on 3 dates with, or more than 3 dates with, or more than 2 dates with, or more than 1 date with, I think. You're the first guy to do this. I won't say. You're the first guy to do this. You're the first guy to do this. She's been divorced 7, 8 years. So like, if I'm the first to have that happen, there's something there that you see. And so that gave me confidence and faith. Again, if she had acted like she did on Wednesday and Thursday night, every time we hung out, I'd be a fool to stay with that person. I'd be a fucking idiot. But that wasn't happening. It honestly felt like I was dealing with two different people. I think I told her that. I was like, there's like the good and the bad, good mangina and bad mangina. It sucks not, I want the good one, that's all I want. So, what sucks is like she said, has admitted as much, like she doesn't like having the talk or the conversation. She doesn't like having intimate talks where we talk about our feelings and have to be vulnerable. She doesn't like that, but yet she did it and we got through it and we were better for it, I think, to then go to. So I thought, okay, we'll just have another talk after this happened, kind of do a little, autopsy, not the best choice of words, but we'll do a little recon analysis and be like, okay, well, let's just talk this through. How can we get better? How can we how can I know, and just talk it through. But she was like, nope, this is the third time we've now talked in this way about this thing that I don't think is ever going to go away. And ultimately, I think that's what led her to saying that. But it's like, it feels like a simple fix on my end, if I'm to believe everything that she wrote and said, and like half of her behavior or more. But if I'm to believe the other half, then, oh, okay, I get it. You were never really, this was just like a passing fancy type thing where it's just like a hobby. It's just like something to do. It's just like, well, I don't have anyone else. And I guess this guy's kind of nice. So, and he doesn't completely suck, but now I'm fucking for sure annoyed because this is going to keep coming up. Like, this guy just can't handle who I am and what do I do and how I behave and whatever. Didn't feel like that. I mean, it felt in the moment, Wednesday night and Thursday, it felt pretty brutal. That was tough to handle. But we got to her house, and I I open the door and get my car bags at the back, and she's like, I feel bad. Do you want me to pay for my ticket or plane ticket? And I was just like, no, dude. Like, initially, when I opened up to her on a walk to the Cuban Coffee Queen, she's like, I feel bad. I don't want you shouldn't have to feel that way. And I was like, it's not like I'm trying to make you feel bad, but I'm just trying to fucking figure it out and understand. So that's that. Did I thoroughly explain it enough in 3.5 hours? Holy fuck. So, and that's all you have to hear about that. That's it. Right. That's enough. No more of that. Keep it moving, as she would say, keep it moving. Push it down, power through. Now all of my energy gets to go back to my daughter, which is probably what should have gone back to it, or self-love and self-care, which I can hear all my buddies laughing. I can hear you guys laughing in the back. Simmer down. But yeah, oh boy, I've had a pit in my stomach. I didn't fall asleep till 4 a.m. that night. I had a fucking nasty night terror. The next night or that night or some night, I don't know. So it's been a rough, like commuting. Yeah. So I tried to make this funny and I failed miserably. Sorry. Next one should be better. I'm gonna get back to talking about my crazy dinner dates with my daughter. And all the silly things that she does and says, which will be great. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Giants and Mets talk. I don't think anyone gives a fuck anymore. Watched a bunch of movies that I could shoot the shit about. So I don't know. Some people are saying I dodged a bullet. It's a blessing. It's a gift. But that's gonna take a while for me to get over. And I said as much in the car. I was like, this has done some damage, an incredible amount of damage to my psyche. I feel like I'm now back to ground zero again. It feels similar to the feeling I had when I had first moved into this apartment, after it's like, it settles in that like, oh yeah, you're on your own now. Like, you're no longer married. Yeah, I'm just going on at this point. So I think we should split ways, you and I, for now. I'll talk to you next time. Yeah. No, we're still going strong, right? You're not gaslighting me, are you? Oh, no. Adios, muchachos.